watching the ETN.
Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Baby, let the games begin. Let the games begin. Let the games begin now. Baby, let the games begin. Let the games begin. Let the games begin. Are you ready for it? Baby, let the games begin. Let the games begin. Let the games begin. Are you ready for it?
And welcome in to Dutch Clark Stadium. Brandon Bird here with you. Alongside me is Grayson Blaylock for this 3A semifinal. And we are excited to bring this one here for you today. The second year in a row that the Tigers are in the semifinal. The third year in a row they take on these Pueblo East Eagles in the playoffs. And Grayson, we rode down with the team. They're excited.
They are excited. They're ready for this one. They're excited about playing Pueblo East again. I know, heard that from a lot of them. They want to go 2-1 against these Eagles. Lost here at Dutch Clark 2 years ago, won last year in a thriller, and now they're here to play them again.
And, of course, the Tigers will have to do it without Noah Roper. That is the lead story here this afternoon. Noah Roper, of course, breaking his leg last week in the game, and so Noah Roper obviously not available here today. And obviously you don't replace a guy like Noah Roper, but these Tigers still feel like they can win.
They do feel like they can win, and a lot of that starts with their defense. They haven't allowed a point in the playoffs yet, and that might change today, but this is an excellent front seven, a good secondary. Even without Noah Roper, the corners are good. The other safeties are good. Adam Hunder will start in his place at safety. Tyler Gardner starting in his place at running back. And Coach Cooper told us they're going to have a running back by committee today.
Yeah, and, regardless, you got the big hog mollies up front. You see a little graphic there on the right side. You got Colby Arlington, Nate Hackney, Spencer Brooks. Of course, don't forget the left side either with Aiden Meeks, David Grassi. Just a little picture there for you. But the O-line has been good regardless of whether number 8 is back there or not. They're a stout group.
They are, and this is a veteran group. They're experienced. This is 3 seniors, 2 juniors. They've played. This is Aiden Meeks' first year starting. The rest of them have gotten varsity playing time. The 4 that besides Meeks all played in last year's playoff run significantly, with the exception of Grassi. The other 3 started. So they've been here before, and they know what it takes to get it done.
All right, we're going to have more of our pregame show coming up for you. We're going to show highlights from last week's game. We're going to have highlights of the last 2 times that they've taken on Pueblo East. This is the rubber match, if you will. We'll take a timeout. We're excited. It's playoff football again here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Do you want a better smile, have a broken bracket, or are you a teenager in need of some braces? Then make your way down to Caraway Orthodontics. They are located in Louisville and Erie. Caraway Orthodontics supports Erie High School and its community. Come in and gain a beautiful smile for children, teens, and adults. They also provide Invisalign. Call this number 303-828-0454 or go to carawayortho.com.
Click the search bar on the top right-hand corner of the screen and search up Erie Tiger Network. Click the channel icon and then press the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive notifications about when we post. Click the thumbs up icon to like the video. To enter full screen mode, press the icon on the bottom right hand corner. To skip forward or backwards 10 seconds, double tap the left or right hand side of the screen. Press the pause button in the middle of the screen to pause the video. To skip to a different video, press the skip button when the video is paused.
I'm married. Doesn't matter. You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so.
Another reason more people stay with State Farm. Get to a better state.
Open up a browser and look up youtube.com/Erie Tiger Network. To subscribe, sign into YouTube and press the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive notifications about ETN posts. To like the video, click the thumbs up button on the right hand side of the screen. Use the bar on the bottom of the screen to move and skip parts in the video. To skip forward or backwards, use the arrow keys to move 5 seconds. You can pause the video at any time by pressing the spacebar or clicking with the mouse.
And welcome back into Dutch Clark. Brandon Bird here with you as we are broadcasting live in this pregame show. And it's an exciting moment for our broadcast crew, getting to do the semifinals live here from Dutch Clark. We weren't able to do that last year. Lucky enough, we're able to travel out on the road and bring you this week's game this year for free. But of course, we couldn't have done it without the help of the community. And at this point, there are too many names to name in terms of support. We've had some businesses step up. Of course, I know they're watching this at Miners back in Erie. They have been a huge help. Cooper Electric's been a huge help. On top of that, there have been a number of fans and friends of the Erie Tiger Network that have stepped up financially. So before we go any further, we really, really want to thank you. We appreciate you. You help us get these rights, and you enable the broadcast for everyone else to watch for free. And we know we have viewers in Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, the Carolinas, and they've reached out to us, and so we appreciate our viewers from everywhere. And of course, we'll have several viewers today for the Pueblo East Eagles as their fans are tuning in. We've already seen them a little bit, and so we welcome those viewers into our broadcast. And this is really an outstanding team. Both these teams outstanding. They've knocked each other out of the playoffs in the last 2 seasons. We'll get more into the matchup in a little bit. We want to talk about last week, a big win for the Tigers. They shut out Green Mountain at home. Let's take a look at those highlights from last week. Efficient offense so far here for the Tigers. Mendoza, as the Tigers trying to go quickly, takes a snap, hands off to Roper, right side, slides through a hole, and Noah Roper off to the races again, and he will score. In the pistol, he's got 3 wide, 2 to the right. One of those is McDonald. He'll come in motion in toward the line of scrimmage. Hand off Roper, left side, stretches it out, stutters, and it's trying to run through an arm tackle, and Noah, oh man, Noah is hurt. Oh no, and the nightmares of Coach Cooper are manifesting on the field right now. The pistol, I believe that's Vera behind him. He will keep it himself right side, good read, and he runs it into the end zone for a Tiger touchdown. And Mendoza, his first rushing touchdown of the night, stretches that Tiger lead out 23-0.
And good run by Mendoza, made the right read and walked untouched into the end zone. So something.
34-yarder, his season long is 35. Trying to hit again from that distance and be 4 for 4 from the near hash. Snap is good, kick is up, and it is good again. Another good field goal there by Julian. And the Tigers, they stretch it out to a 4-possession lead. They lead it 27-0. The Rams. Empty backfield. Town Drought drops back to pass. Being pressured. gets flushed to his right. Bradford, he will sling him down. Actually, somehow Towndrow gets out of it, looking down the field. Intercepted! Tigers stick with it. That's Ian Vera. And a nice play there defensively for the Tigers. That's a long time to cover. Excellent escape by Towndrow. You see he's flushed there by Tabsire, chased by Nelms. It looked like Bradford had him dead to rights. Somehow Towndrow escaped, fired down the field, and Ian Vera stuck with it and got the interception in the pistol. Kana, they'll run read option, handoff to Vera, weaves his way to the end zone, another Tiger touchdown, and they have put the nail in the coffin. 33-0 on the 7-yard run by Ian Vera. And welcome back. You just saw the highlights from last week. And Grayson, let's talk a little bit about last week. Once again, another shutout by this Erie defense. That's been the story in some ways of the first 2 playoff weeks of the season. A high-powered Durango offense shut down. Second round of the playoffs, another shutout. 0 points allowed by this defense so far. If the Tigers are going to win today, frankly, if they're going to win any more games this season, they're going to have to lean on that defense.
And they are. That defense, there's really not much else to say. 0 points allowed, a 76 or 74-0 scoring margin in the playoffs. That's pretty good. You don't see that very often in high school football. This defense, one of the best, if not the best defense in the state, especially up in that front 7.
And then obviously you saw the injury to Noah. At one point he came back on the field. The Tigers had to call a timeout. We'll talk about our keys to the game in a little bit. If you're Erie, though, one thing you can't do is let that affect your own play on the field because one teammate went down.
Right, you can't play the way you do because of Noah. You can't play bad because Noah. You have to play for Noah. Let his injury inspire you. Let it push you. All these seniors, their entire lives, they've been said, oh, Erie's a one-man team. Well, here's your chance to prove everyone that's ever said that wrong.
And when you look at who the next man up is, we have a little graphic here for you. Tyler Gardner, obviously, we expect him to get some carries. He's had over 300 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns. We saw Ian Vera get some carries last week. He seems to be getting better and better as the season goes along. And obviously, Cameron Crooks could be someone in there. Mason Vivi. We popped in Josh Bradford. A little birdie told us he might get some carries this week.
Might get a few carries, especially in short yardage situations. I know they like him and Vera both in short yardage situations. Just goal line, look for Bradford to get the ball.
And speaking, of course, of Noah and his record chase, just some final looks at where he finishes. Very unofficial, these numbers. I actually think he has 92 touchdowns there. We'll look at the next one. And well, sometimes our graphics, our records graphics, just don't like to fire. Noah Roper. Well, those are last week's numbers, so we'll see if we can't get those updated at some point during a commercial break. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we will talk about the bracket, where Erie stands. There's another 4A game going on. There's a little bit of interesting info. We have highlights from the last 2 times that these teams have met, and of course, both of them have been in the playoffs. So lots coming at you still here on the broadcast.
Front Range Landfill puts all your needs in front of everything else. Front Range Landfill won Erie Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year Award, as well as being featured on national television. We are very proud of our facility and we welcome the opportunity to address your disposal needs. Our focus is on customer service. We strive to achieve easy and rapid access in and out of the facility. We feel certain that we will exceed your expectations of your solid waste disposal requirements. Choose Front Range Landfill for all your landfill needs. You will be pleased.
have a plan in place for your family's future in the event something happens to you? Are you caring for aging parents, grandparents, or a loved one with special needs? The Germany law firm named 2017 Erie's Chamber Business of the Year provides expert legal guidance and peace of mind for you and your family in the areas of probate, elder law, and estate planning. Visit Germany Law Firm's Erie Village office or website at coelderlaw.net to set up a personalized consultation.
You are watching the ETN.
And welcome back in here. Dutch Clark Stadium. Brandon Bird, Grayson Blaylock here with you as the pregame show rolls on. And, well, before the break, we talked a little bit about last week, but of course, last year, Erie took on this Pueblo East team in the first round of the playoffs. 2 years ago, they took on this Pueblo East team right here in the first round of the playoffs as well. And that was, well, you'd hate to say moral victories. I thought kind of propelled Erie's program into the following year. But let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights from the last two matchups. Camera view. We have some friends here from the community college here in Pueblo, especially. Right now it's Andrada under center. He's going to fumble the ball. It's kicked, and on it is the Tigers. So a perfect start for Erie defensively after the turnover. Portillo looks, has single coverage, high into the night. High rep just catches, and he tumbles to the one. So a 29-yard pass. And now the Tigers will have to punch it in from the one. They've had trouble at times this year doing that. Let's see if they can just punch it in right here. You see Portillo, he threw it high enough. Pass, pumps, now throws wide open is Riley Deckard. He's going to catch it and get spun down inside the 5. Riley Deckard, 40-yard pickup in the air from Ruben Portillo. Excellent wheel route by Riley, and he was wide open. Just a busted coverage that time from the Eagles. And you see here on replay the little pump fake and then the wheel route. And nobody within 7 yards of Riley Deckard. Just couldn't quite make the last man miss, but spins it down to the 5. Outside, they've had trouble stopping this Pueblo East side. Save for the first 2 possessions of the game. Portillo. Hands off to Roper, left side, following his blocker, stays on his feet, explodes through the hole, churning his legs inside the 5. After that one. Now 2nd and goal. Tigers have gone backward on 3 straight snaps inside the 5. Post route, caught by Mathis for a touchdown. That was a ball, and then Portillo absolutely got creamed after the throw. There's the snap, Andrada going through the air. Tigers need an incompletion. Andrada fumbles the ball. He just lost it. It's on the turf. The Tigers pick it up. What a big play for Erie. Ruben checks into the sideline. And probably his last game now as a Tiger. He'll whistle one downfield, and it's bobbled, caught by Hirup, and he stumbles down inside the 4. Pretty good stripe there of 36 yards. And you can hear that down there. Someone saying, our quarterback's got a good arm. Portillo certainly has improved a lot over the last year. And let's see if the Tigers can get it their first positive play from inside the 5 tonight. Fake the handoff. Throw the out route. That's Deckard. He has it for the touchdown. You see it in these players. They, as they say, burn the boats. They're not leaving. Not leaving it all on the field. Nice high kick. That one bounces around into the hands of a Tiger. So they do get the onside kick. That was Jacob Mansdorfer on the recovery. And Erie just will not die. Alex Ailey helped put these together. Obviously, the atmosphere was great. Lots of fans in the stadium for that one. It was Erie's first playoff game hosted since 2008. Unfortunately, Erie found themselves down 14-0 early, and on fourth down, a 12-yard screen. Noah Roper made it happen, missing 4 tacklers on the play there. Then the Erie Tigers got the ball back late in the first half. It was Noah Roper from the Wildcat over the right side, and he plunged it into the end zone to tie it. Unfortunately, Erie gave up an 8-minute scoring drive in the fourth quarter. They marched down the field in just a couple minutes, and Zach Reese took it in from about 10 yards out. Then the Tigers, they didn't know if they wanted to go for 2 or not. They finally did, and Noah Roper punched it into the end zone as the Tigers got the 2-point conversion. They would take a lead. Then, well, Nate Hackney delivered the final play of the game, forcing a fumble as the Tigers would win their first playoff game since 2008. That was Noah Roper's 3rd straight game of 200 yards rushing in All right, so you saw the exciting highlights from the last 2 seasons. The big win by Pueblo East 2 years ago. That was really before the rise of the program took off for Erie. And then, of course, the big win last year, Erie's first playoff win in close to a decade. That propelled them all the way to a run to the state championship. And here we are in the semifinals a year later. And, man, these 2 programs have just been outstanding for Colorado 3A football the last few years.
They have, and same kind of nervousness, same kind of excitement that you've had. These games are always good ones, and this one shaping up to be a classic.
Hey fans, just a couple maintenance announcements. Just in case something were to happen to our network here, you're going to want to follow us on Twitter at Erie TigerNet or like the Erie Tiger Network Facebook page. We'd also really appreciate if you like this video and subscribe to the Erie Tiger Network. We are about 60 subscribers away from being a monetized YouTube channel, so we would really appreciate if you would hit that subscribe button. We, once again, are going to step aside and go back out to break. When we come back, we'll talk about the bracket. We'll start previewing this game a little bit and more here on the pregame show on the Erie Tiger Network.
Have you ever wanted to support the Erie Tiger Network, the student media arm of Erie High School? Well, now you can. We have set up a Patreon page. There's a way for you to send us a monthly pledge in order to provide funding for the program, as well as get access to reward tiers. As a Tiger fan, you get the satisfaction in knowing you are helping out your favorite local media organization. As a member of the ETN fan club, you are officially recognized on air and can receive ETN goodies throughout the year. As an in-broadcast red sponsor, you get to sponsor a specific segment of any broadcast. For more information, email bird_brandon at sbbsd.org. This is a $25 per month commitment. As an appreciator of Erie's live broadcast with the weekly news, you can help support this program by becoming one of our patrons by going to bit.ly/ETNPatreon.
I'm Gavin Mendoza.
I'm Jamie Noam.
I'm Noah Roper.
I'm Spencer Brooks, and thanks for watching Tiger Football on the Erie Tiger Network.
Thanks for watching Tiger Football on the Erie Tiger Network.
Thanks for watching Tiger Football on the Erie Tiger Network.
And thank you for watching Tiger Football on the Erie Tiger Network.
There's a beast deep inside you. It will not die.
Ooh.
It will fight back.
You are watching the ETN.
And welcome back in here to our pregame show. And we understand we might have some audio issues. Sorry, we were just making sure that those audio issues are okay. Let us know. Let us know in our chat. We try and monitor that every once in a while throughout the game to see what's going on. And if you're kind of one of my designated people, let me know as well, and we'll be sure to get that corrected. Well, the teams have gone back into the locker room. You can feel the nerves starting to build here in the stadium. We're nervous up here in the broadcast booth as well. You take a look at the bracket and what has happened so far in the first round. Of the four teams left, Palisade, they had to knock off Fort Morgan, and then they knocked off Meade at home 27-21, and they'll take on Palmer Ridge. We hear it's windy. That could have an impact today, and I think you have a pretty good little tidbit about Palisade.
I do. 3 years ago, Palisade, second round of the playoffs, travels to Fort Morgan and is knocked out. 2 years ago, they're knocked out by Meade, also on the road. Last year, knocked out by Palmer Ridge in the semifinals, all on the road. This year, first round, Palisade over Fort Morgan. Second round, Palisade over Meade. And today it's Palisade versus Palmer Ridge. All those games that they lost were all on the road. All these three are at home.
Revenge tour is on maybe for Palisade. That'll be an interesting one to watch. We will keep you updated of that score as we get information. In terms of Palmer Ridge, they had to knock off a scrappy Holy Family team at home. That was, a Pueblo South team at home, 41-7. Then they took on a Harrison team that knocked off Holy Family, and they rolled big, 52-14. Their last two games, huge wins, 92 points scored going into their semifinal. Erie, of course, as we mentioned, they shut out Durango in the first round. They shut out Green Mountain. That's why they find themselves here today. If you look at Pueblo East, they knocked off Lewis Palmer 35-21. They absolutely thumped Discovery Canyon, who beat them earlier in the year 41-0. And so Erie finds himself here today. And I think even the location of this game is a little bit controversial. Erie finishes undefeated. They finish with a higher RPI, and yet they are on the road for this game. This game could have been played at Erie. The seating committee ultimately put Erie in at second and then third for Pueblo East, and maybe they flopped them at the end, so they avoided a conference matchup. Not sure exactly what happened, but I know that's added fuel to the fire of this week. These two teams, already a little bit of heat between them. They've played two real knockdown, drag-out playoff games the last 2 years. They've seen each other in camp. There's been a little bit of a scuffle. Now the seeding. This Erie team is ticked, and they're not happy they had to travel down here. It's going to be a physical game.
It will be a physical game. And like we've said, it's going to start in the front seven for the Tigers. Nate Hackney, Spencer Brooks, Jamie Nelms, the three senior anchors of that defensive line. And they'll be really physical with Pueblo East. The pass rush of the Erie defense, not something that happens a lot. Most teams that Erie plays run the ball. but Pueblo East likes to throw it.
While we have a moment, of course, this broadcast, we already mentioned, could be done without the supporters. We also have a Patreon, and our goal is to get 100 patrons on our Patreon. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. If we had 50 of you that did $1 a month, that would help us out big time. You can find the link in the description. Just head over to patreon.com/Erie Tiger Network. Of course, this game is also brought to you by Jen Elliston. Are you looking to buy or sell a home? Jen Elliston is the perfect fit for you. She prides herself in helping every family find a house that perfectly fits their needs, turning every house into a home. Jen has been helping people buy and sell real estate in the Denver metro area and surrounding areas since 2013. Whether you're looking to buy a new home, sell your current home, or buy an investment property, Jen Elliston Realty can help meet your goals. Visit her online today at jenellistonrealty.com. Well, we are under 10 minutes away here from kickoff. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starters here this afternoon for the Tigers. Hopefully that graphic has been updated for you, and it has. Gavin Mendoza, the starting quarterback. Tyler Gardner, he will start at halfback today for Erie. Isaac Kana, he's one of the starting receivers. Jamie Nelms, Ian McDonald, kind of two tight ends, set two H-backs. We list them as starters. Obviously, Erie can be pretty flexible. Two wide receivers as well. Caleb Furman, the other wideout on the other side. Starting offensive line, the right tackle, Spencer Brooks, a big senior. And, man, he has gotten bigger and bigger, it seems, as time has gone on. Nate Hackney, he will start at right guard, anchoring that right side of the offensive line. He's also been big on defense. Colby Arlington, he's your steadfast center. He had a huge game a year ago against Longmont, a pretty good D-line, and Colby Arlington just shoved those big boys around. Colby keeps growing. He's only a junior. David Grassi, he will start at left guard for the Tigers, and Aiden Meeks will start at the left tackle, and that is your starters for the Erie offense. And Grace, we already kind of mentioned this, a little bit of running back by committee. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And actually, I think we are going to have the national anthem. Sorry to interrupt. Nope, not quite yet. But you look at those starters, they've been healthy all year, and that helps, except obviously now for Noah.
You're right. The starters have been healthy. David did miss a little bit of time towards the second half of the regular season. Alonzo Warner stepped in at left guard for him. Did a pretty good job. But this is the Tigers' #1 offensive line. It's their best unit, best combination, and they're healthy and ready to go.
You see Pueblo East come out onto the field. This Pueblo East team is talented. They are led by their quarterback, senior quarterback Luke Andrada. He started all three matchups against this Erie Tiger team. He's really good. Probably the best player on the team, maybe one of the best players in 3A, Kane Madrano, committed to UCLA, the Bruins, and Chip Kelly in that offense, and he's going to be a wide receiver for them. So he's a talented guy that this Erie secondary will have to find a way to slow down, as now Erie coming out onto the field. And you see Noah Roper there on the crutches. He is coming out with the team. Still a captain and an emotional leader in this locker room. And I have a feeling we're obviously not there. Noah, maybe a couple of pregame words for this team before they took the field.
Maybe a couple words in the locker room, firing the team up. Kind of get the sense that Noah probably did say, hey, don't go win it for me. Go win it for yourselves. You're a good football team. Prove it.
All right, so we've got a tasty matchup coming. We're excited. The national anthem should happen here pretty soon. Erie set to take the field any moment. We'll stick around here for that. Just trying to make sure we time up everything. There's only 4 minutes showing as the captains are going to go out and meet for the coin toss. And while they do that, let's actually look at our keys to the game here for both teams. And unfortunately, our keys to the game graphic did not save. We had to restart our graphics here before. So our graphics, some of them a little bit behind. But let's just talk about some of them. For Erie, got to find a way to keep things unpredictable.
You do. You have to be unpredictable. Erie, a running team traditionally. Without Noah Roper, you need to mix it up. The only slight advantage you could say you have by not having Noah is the Pueblo East team has no film of what Erie would do without him. So I suspect they put in a lot of plays, a lot of jet sweeps this week. Dion Lucero and Gavin Mendoza both, I suspect, will be used a lot. And the Tigers will have to be unpredictable if they want to win this one today.
And you hear the crowd picking up as the Tigers and the rest of the Tiger team take to the field wearing their white uniforms. Another thing, no home run hitter with no Noah Roper. You got to take care of the football.
You have to take care of the football. This is a good Pueblo East defense. For all the talk about the Erie defense, Pueblo East is pretty good too, and led by Kane Medrano, Joe Padula, a linebacker. You'll hear his name called a lot when Erie's on offense. You can't turn the ball over and set up this East offense with good field position.
And I think most importantly, when you lose a player like Noah Roper, you come into this game, it's a big game, you're trying to be focused. Sometimes you forget to have fun and relax. Third key, I think the most important thing today, this Erie team needs to have fun. We'll see if they do here in a little bit. If you're Pueblo East, I think, you got to stop the run. You got to stop the run. Don't let any other back gain confidence.
And with Erie running back by committee, if Tyler Gardner starts breaking off big chunks, Ian Vera, Josh Bradford, Cameron Crooks, any of them break off huge chunks of yardage, that's a way that Erie will be able to work in those trick plays better, force East to defend the box.
Also, we said fling it around a little bit if you're Pueblo East, because as much as Noah is missed offensively, Noah is really missed in the secondary defensively. And with Kane Medrano on the field, that was kind of something the Tigers had in their back pocket is, hey, we could rely on Noah to keep this guy in check. And unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. So if you're Pueblo East, you got to throw it around a little bit.
You do. You've got to take advantage of Medrano. You've got to take advantage of Marvin London and Caden Bowman, the two other leading receivers. Marvin London, actually the leading receiver for this team. Medrano missed a game.
All right, we are going to join the National Anthem live here on the Erie Tiger Network as the color guard is coming onto the field. And, we will join the festivities happening in Stadium Live.
Singing our national anthem this afternoon under the direction of Mr. Andrew Watson, please welcome the East High School Tone Trooper.
All right, well, you couldn't hear that well. It was the stadium mic in the stadium, so that was the issue there. Hey, you can't blame our audio for once.
Nope.
All right, well, both teams have met. The coin toss has happened. Last second thoughts, Grayson, before this one kicks off.
Well, looks like Erie's kicking off, so thing to watch, the secondary. hasn't really been tested like they will be today all year. Look for Caleb Furman and Augustin Celeste to be good in coverage today. They'll have to be great if the Tigers want to shut down this Pueblo East offense.
With an emphasis on lifetime preventative care in Erie, Coal Creek Family Dental offers a full range of dental services to meet the individual needs and preferences of each patient. From routine cleanings to complete smile makeovers, we utilize the latest dental techniques to give our patients the most up-to-date service. Check us out online at coalcreekfamilydental.com. And here we go. The Tigers playing in their second semifinal of the year. They ended a long winning streak for Pueblo East last year, so you know that Pueblo East has got a little bit of revenge on their mind as well. And Pat Gonzalez is back deep to receive the kickoff for Pueblo East. Well, he's one of a few anyways. Kane Medrano back there. Kane, so big and fast. That's what makes Kane so good. And I believe the other person back there is Marvin London Jr. And Julian Castine set to kick things off here from the 40 for Erie. As we are all set here on the Erie Tiger Network. So buckle up, Tigers. It's going to be a crazy couple of hours. Should be a good one. Julian will step it off here. And he's been so good this year at getting touchbacks. See what he can do here. Julian will put the right foot to it. Low, sidewinding kick, fielded by Medrano at the 1. He's going to roll to his right. He's got an edge. Tigers have to track him down and corral him out of bounds, but very good field position for the Eagles, and they will start their first drive in good territory.
And it does appear that they marked him out at the 37-yard line. Looks like he ran farther, but stepped out of bounds. Pueblo East in their customary 4 wide receiver, 1 running back set.
Andrada is the quarterback. He'll take the snap, looks to his right, throws the quick stop route, and a pickup of about 5 on that first down pass. And I believe that was Joe Padula on the receiving end.
And Padula, we mentioned him. He's excellent defensively, and their 4th receiver in their spread offense.
2nd and 5 here for East. They'll run read option, handoff, and that's Pat Gonzalez into the middle. He'll pick up about 4, and so a 3rd and 1 coming here for Pueblo East. They got to get to the 47. Ball spotted right at the 46. Pueblo East. One of the keys today for them is to keep things up tempo, tire out this very good Tiger defense. Low snap, handoff, and getting first down yardage and churning is Gonzalez, and he has 5 yards out across the 50 to the 49 in Erie territory.
Gonzalez, a senior that transferred from another Pueblo high school to come play for the best team in Pueblo, and made the move from quarterback to running back this year.
1st and 10. Andrada takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, fires, intercepted! It's Kana with the interception. Medrano wanted a interference call, but Kana picks it off, and the Tigers force an early turnover.
And that is exactly what Erie needs. The pass just too far ahead of Medrano, and right in the breadbasket of Kana for an easy interception. And after Pueblo East had some momentum, a huge momentum shift back towards Erie. This crowd, a lot of Tiger fans made the drive down to Pueblo, and they are loud.
All right, so the first time we'll see the Erie offense, and it will be Tyler Gardner behind Gavin Mendoza to start things off. A 2 tight end set, snap, handoff to Tyler, waits, left side, still churning the legs, and Tyler Gardner will pick up about 3 yards on his first carry of the game.
And good first carry for Gardner. Good way to get the game started for Erie. Small gain, but a solid gain on first down for Erie.
Tigers also trying to keep some tempo. Mendoza claps the hands. He'll send Nelms across the formation. Don't get the offside call. Hand off to Gardner, right side. Bowls over the top of one defender. And good job at the point of attack by Erie. Pretty good job by that front moving the line of scrimmage. Gardner ends up picking up 3 yards.
Man, it was a good job. It looked like there was a linebacker that hopped off sides, no call. Erie would have taken the 5 yards, obviously. They have a third, and we'll say a long 4 coming up.
And Mendoza checking the play here at the line. Let's see what Erie does here on their first series. A little bit of deception. Haven't put a ton of film out there that isn't handing off to No Roper. Hand off to Gardner, and he gets bottled up right at the line of scrimmage. And so Erie starts the game with 3 straight runs to Tyler Gardner, and they will be forced on a turnover on downs and a 3 and out, and they will punt.
And just a good play by the linebackers of Pueblo East there, coming up, recognizing the run, knowing Erie is a running team primarily. They're trying to get that run going early, but they cannot on this first drive.
So Julian will kick off, to punt here to Medrano. Standing at his own 30. Julian, good snap. Boots this one, spiraling toward the sideline, and out of bounds. Pretty good punt. They're going to mark this out of bounds almost right where it went out. In fact, now here comes the official walking it up. 27-yard line is where Pueblo East will start things for their second drive. We came out and we saw Andrada throw a pick, 2 passes, a couple runs, trying to mix it up. And for the Tigers, that's what you want to see is good pass coverage from your defense.
That is ideal. Erie, you can already tell, dropping more players back in coverage. The linebackers that are usually up to guard against the run, they're back in the secondary.
Now here goes the handoff, and that one is Noah Rivera. No gain is that Tiger front. That is the strength of this team, is the front 7 for Erie. They are nasty. Right now, Bradford down there, Spencer Brooks at nose tackle. I think Nate Hackney and Jamie Nelms all in there, and that is a good front for the Tigers.
It is, and Nate Hackney making that play on East's backup running back.
Andrada is going to run option to the far side with Medrano. Tigers trying to string it out. He'll finally get the edge, has a first down, and steps out of bounds after a decent pickup there of about 13. So Andrada, who is the team's leading rusher despite not having the most carries for this Pueblo East side.
And Andrada, the 100-meter dash champion this previous spring in 4A, he's fast.
A lot of speed here on this Pueblo East team. Andrada from the far hash this time. Runs read, takes it up the middle, lowers the head, and plows his way forward for a pickup of 4.
And for all of Pueblo East being known as a passing team, they do run the ball quite often. They actually have more run attempts than pass attempts. Some of that's a product of being up late in games big like Erie has been this year, but that is just an interesting little stat to keep in mind as they've run the ball more than they've thrown it today.
Andrada, he's going to pass this time, throws out to the flat. Pena came up to make a stick. That's going to be right near the first down line. In fact, the near sideline official signaling that it is a first down.
And good tackle by Eddie there. Erie playing with more defensive backs today. Just looks like a nickel setup for the Tigers. Obviously, Pueblo East, 4 wide receivers. They're not used to that as much.
And Pueblo East right back at it, and run up the middle again, and that's Noah Rivera again. And this time he gets a couple before he's finally ridden down.
And David Grossi on that stop. Tiger defensive line, they're anticipating these draws well, and not a lot of blocking past the line of scrimmage from the East offensive line.
2nd and 8, Andrada rolling. He's being pressured a little bit, has to float it toward the sideline and just throws it away.
And good coverage down there by the Erie secondary. They're coming into this one looking prepared.
Yeah, Erie running in a lot of guys in and out. And now Bradford will come in and take a seat. 3rd and 8, so big moment here for this Tiger defense. Want to get off the field. You just went 3 and out. See what they can do here. Andrada in the shotgun. Erie crowd getting into it. 4 wide in the pattern. Andrada, he's going to run the reverse. Good blocking setup, a pathway there, and finally someone comes up to make the play. That was Marvin London on the end around, and he picks up 11, maybe 12 yards and a first down for the Eagles.
And that one's actually not going to be a first down. Kane Madrano will be flagged for a holding call. So this one is coming back. You can see the yellow on the field, I think. Not sure. I can't see our camera angle, but good call. Had Eddie Pena by the back. And that will back up Pueblo East.
And the flag was thrown not quite past the first down marker. And so trying to pick up. It's very windy. You can actually hear it in the referee's field mic. And so it'll go from 3rd and 8 to 3rd and 13.
And the Erie crowd getting loud. 2 running backs this time for Pueblo East.
Andrada. Play action, looking for the wheel route. It's intercepted by Bradfield. He's going the other way, and Bradfield tripped as he crosses the 30. That's his 2nd pick in as many weeks from the D-line position. It looked like Andrada just threw it right to him.
It did. It looked like Andrada wanted to go deep, but saw the coverage and tried to pull it back in, but the ball slipped out of his hands, and it ended right up in Bradford's arms.
And Bradford almost took it to the house. Andrada had to come over and make the tackle. So Erie cooking with good field position here. They have it at the Pueblo East 28.
And this is something you saw. Erie didn't take advantage of the turnover last time. They really could use to take advantage of it here.
So Josh Bradford with the INT with 6:20 remaining here in the first quarter. And now, is that Vivi back there? Handoff left side and then leaning his way forward. And that was Mason Vivi getting the carry. So Tigers going with a little bit of youth. Haven't seen Vivi carry the ball too many times this year. Picks up a carry that time in about 3 yards. So far, good job at the point of attack. Seems like with these Erie backers are getting touched, they're not getting a lot of yards after contact, but they're not first getting touched till 2-3 yards down the field.
Right, the offensive line doing an excellent job at that first level blocking, but at the second level, the linebackers were probably just making good tackles.
Play action. Mendoza looking, fires in the underneath route. Not much there. Pretty good coverage applied that time. And Mendoza connected with his receiver. And
that was Aaron Dixon on the catch.
They were calling Aaron Dixon's name, at least, on the overhead announcement. It's a little 2-yard pickup there for the Tigers. And all kinds of different names flying at you so far from the usual faces that you see. It's going to be Vivi again as the running back. Mendoza here in the pistol. 3rd and about 5. Handoff, Vivi up the middle, hesitates, bounces off left side, and Vivi tried to dive toward the marker. He's going to be a yard short. Good effort, though, by Vivi running it there over the left side.
And good job, good read to bounce it outside from the linebackers. Looks like Erie's going to go for it.
All right, and Erie's trying to go quick, so we'll hop out of that replay. And Mendoza saying that Pueblo East jumped offside. Now he's looking to the sideline, and Erie is going to call a timeout. We are going to catch our breath. We're going to take our first timeout here. We got a good one, Bruins. Still the first quarter here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Do you want a better smile, have a broken bracket, or are you a teenager in need of some braces? Then make your way down to Caraway Orthodontics. They are located in Louisville and Erie. Caraway Orthodontics supports Erie High School and its community. Come in and gain a beautiful smile for children, teens, and adults. They also provide Invisalign. Call this number 303-828-0454 or go to carawayortho.com.
And welcome back in. Here we go. Big fourth down coming for this Tiger offense. 4th and about 2. Vivi is the running back. Mendoza runs play action, looks deep, covered up well, throws it up high. Furman back at the end zone. Did he get his foot in bounds? No, they will say it was just long. Oh, the Tigers tried to dial it up, and we'll take another look at that one as that was awfully close.
And it did look like Furman might have gotten his back toe inside.
Go real slow for us here anyways. Furman skies up for it, and no, just landed out of bounds. Couldn't get the foot in. Good call there by the officials, and the Tigers squander their second turnover. So 2 turnovers, no points for the Tigers, as there's a handoff right side of the Tiger D-line. Stout again, as I think that was Joe Padula that time, or was that Pat Gonzalez actually? And the pickup of 1. So 2nd and 9 here for East. Andrada takes a snap. He'll roll. Looking downfield, has Medrano this time. Medrano weaving his way all the way across the field, bowls over a Tiger defender. That was Augustin Celeste, and hops out of bounds. And looks like they're going to mark him right at the down to gain, and they will give him enough yardage. So a 9-yard pickup there, and that time you can see the explosiveness and talent of Kane Medrano.
And just a really good run there from Medrano. You can see he's committed to UCLA for a reason.
Hand off again, and Vera there, that time on the tackle. Good push, though. And Gonzalez pecks his way for about 4 yards. 2nd and 6 here for the Eagles. And 2 drives, 2 turnovers. Tigers have not been able to capitalize on either. Just have not been able to get their run game going. Here goes the option. Andrada has it. Takes it up the seam into the open field. Andrada finally spilled out across the 40. And a late flag coming in. He picked up 22 yards on the carry.
And not sure what this flag is, thrown from the or near sideline official, and right at the sideline.
And it was actually a 27-yard pickup if this one stands. A sideline warning for Erie. So it is a 27-yard pickup here for the Eagles. They're cooking here on offense on this drive. 3:05 remaining in the first quarter.
And sideline warnings, little common for Erie as they jump off sides. The entire defensive line hopped there.
And we have, well, let's see, the officials coming in to discuss things, wondering if they were drawn off by a false start. Let's see. And it is an offside on Erie, their first of the game.
And that puts Pueblo East in good territory, the 33-yard line, 1st and 5.
So Andrada, hands off left side. Tigers trying to stack up another penalty flag. This one's going to look like an illegal formation.
And maybe too many men in the backfield for Pueblo East.
And this, nope. This time it's a sideline warning for Pueblo East. So, pair of sideline warnings, neither consequential. And a 3-yard pickup makes it 2nd and 2.
Coaching staff's maybe getting a little too excited.
Andrada with 2 backs, hands it off right side to Noah Rivera, and Noah has 3 yards and a first down.
And a little bit surprising to see Rivera getting these carries for Pueblo East. Their main runner, Pat Gonzalez, we haven't seen him since their first drive of the ball game.
Rivera, 3 carries, Gonzalez 5. Play action, slant, and a good pitch and catch that time. Vera on the tackle, and another flag, and this one might be. And this one might be. And sorry, we have a short in one of our cords here. We are trying to make sure that we don't lose you. But a roughing the passer is going to make it 1st and goal here for East. So a good start defensively for Erie. And after forcing 2 turnovers, there's a stop there.
Run to the left side.
No
gain.
No points to show for those 2 turnovers. So here we go. 2nd and goal from the 10. Andrada again in the shotgun. Rolls to his right, being chased here. Pitches, good job by Erie in pursuit, and they will bottle up the back for maybe even a loss of 1.
And like you said, great pursuit there from the Erie defense. Following Andrada with the ball, designed option play, and they swarmed to the ball once he pitched it. The Erie defense trying to come up big with another stop.
So 3rd and 10. Tigers, they need something positive here. Get a stop. East looking for the first score of the game. Handoff right side, and Nate Hackney stands strong. And you might see Pueblo East go for it here.
And you might. This is just on the outskirts of their field goal range. The longest field goal they've attempted and made was from 28 yards, which is just inside where they'd be kicking it from. You got to think 4th and 9 inside the 10-yard line. They're going to go for this one.
All right, important play for both teams. Crowd getting into it for Erie. Andrada is going to send a man in motion. They're trying to single Medrano up, and now Andrada looking to the sideline, and he wants a timeout. You could see the safety, Furman, who's playing safety today, on Medrano, and kind of bracketed coverage there, and I just think that was a look that Pueblo East did not like.
I would agree with you. They just tried to motion London to see is Furman going to move with him, give single coverage. And you're saying, no, we know what Kane Medrano can do, and we'll trust our defenders in man coverage everywhere else. So forcing Pueblo East to take a timeout.
So 12 seconds remaining here in the quarter. So probably not quite the last play of the quarter, but an interesting first quarter. 2 turnovers forced by the Erie defense. Weren't able to capitalize on either, and this time Pueblo East has been able to move the ball down the field, primarily through their running game. And this time Pueblo East, they're going to come out with trips to the left.
Medrano at the top of your screen.
They are switching the matchup for Medrano, and now Medrano will motion. Here comes the rollout. Medrano got the pick play, catches, trying to find the end zone, and penalty. I think he was stopped short anyway, out at the 1. So unless the penalty is on Erie, It's going to be a turnover on downs. The question is, do you want to take it at the 1 or do you want to try again from 4th and where that flag is? It would be 4th and about goal from the 19. Man, a tough decision here for Coach Cooper.
And I think even though you're backed up, I think you might take the ball here. You don't want to give Pueblo East a chance to score.
So 5 seconds left here in the quarter. And so 1st and goal from the 1 is what Erie ultimately decides. Got a good O-line. 5 seconds left here in the quarter. We'll stay right here. And, man, what a weird first quarter. And I hope, man, you really hope it doesn't end real weird with 2 points on the board for Pueblo East. But so Erie's got to do something here to get out of the shadow of their own goal line.
Might run a QB sneak. You don't have much time left in the quarter. Bats B going to the other side of the field. Looks like Ian Vera in at back.
Little action there, and then the keeper by Mendoza, and he plows his way forward for a couple yards to end the quarter. And no score at the end of 1 quarter of play. It's been an exciting one. We'll take a timeout. We'll have the second quarter here for you on the Erie Tiger Network.
Click the search bar on the top right-hand corner of the screen and search up Erie Tiger Network. Click the channel icon and then press the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive notifications about when we post. Click the thumbs up icon to like the video. To enter full screen mode, press the icon on the bottom right hand corner. To skip forward or backwards 10 seconds, double tap the left or right hand side of the screen. Press the pause button in the middle of the screen to pause the video. To skip to a different video, press the skip button when the video is paused.
And welcome back in Erie Tiger Network as the Tigers, no score here. They have 2nd and 7 here out of the timeout, and well, it's been stout defense so far for Erie. They have not got their offense going yet. Close one as they tried to hook up with Furman on a deep pass. He made a nice catch, just couldn't quite keep the toes inbound. So see what the Tigers do here. Play action. They're going to pass again. This time it's Lucero going long for Nelms, and as soon as Lucero came in the game, I think Pueblo East was ready to drop back into coverage.
And they were. That one just overthrown. He overthrew everyone on that play.
So it was 3rd and 8 here for the Tigers. Looks to be Lucero again. I think Ian Vera is the running back flanking him. He's got multiple wideouts here to the near side.
Coverage is soft in the slot. Don't be surprised if that's where they head.
They'll roll, throw the out, and it's dislodged from, I think that was Celeste, who took a big shot, couldn't quite hold on to it. That would have been probably just about a half a yard short of the line to gain anyway. So now the Tigers are going to have to punt from the shadow of their own goal line.
And you want to make sure that Julian Castine does not step on the back of the end zone. You know, he'll be aware. A little bit of short punt, so you also want to make sure he's protected and the punt is not blocked.
So Castine heels on the back line. And he taps it to himself, trying to get out of it. He does. He punts it away, and it's recovered by East at the 1. You know what? As disastrous as that was for Erie, that was a great effort by Julian just to get it away.
And it was a high snap from the center, and impressive job by Julian keeping it in bounds. Almost if you're Erie, you would have rather have had a safety there, but 2 points versus 7. Now Erie's defense is going to have to hold on the 1 yard line. Of course.
You get good field position anyways. So I think the way your defense has been playing, take your chances for a goal line stop. But a big play in this game, and now a huge opportunity for Pueblo East.
And coming up in a minute, we do have a score from the other game for you.
Now 1st and goal. Andrada this time under center, and he will sneak it. And a flag. I'm not sure that the East ever got set.
And the cannon fires, but the near sideline official not signaling touchdown. False start, maybe.
This could be real interesting. The band's still playing for Pueblo. Illegal formation. So that bails out Erie here a little bit.
And it gives the defense some room to breathe. Now a chance for a stop. That's going to put him at the 6 yard line.
This game has just had so many twists and turns so far. So now it's 1st and goal from the 5. So illegal formation wipes 6 points off the board. Andrada now from the shotgun. Flanking him to his right is Noah Rivera. He's going to run a draw, trying to weave his way, and this time he is in. So a touchdown for Pueblo East, and they take the lead here with 11:34 remaining here in the quarter.
And Pueblo East makes the Erie miscue on the punt snap payoff, and they turn it into a touchdown for the first score of the game and the first touchdown Erie has allowed in the playoffs.
The first points, the Tigers before that went 9 quarters without allowing any points, and the first time they allowed points was because the other team got possession on their own 1. And that one is up and good. Pueblo East, they take the lead. We'll step aside real quick here on the Erie Tiger Network.
You are watching the ETN.
And we're back in live here at Dutch Clark. Tigers now trail it here to Pueblo East 7-0, and so far the Tiger offense has gone cold. Coach Toof has his hands full here. No Noah Roper, and Tiger offense has just not really been able to run the ball with the same amount of effectiveness. And a squib is blown dead due to a false start on the kick.
And that'll back East up.
By the way, Mason Vivi back to return the kick for Erie, as well as
Isaac Kana.
Isaac Kana, there we go. I thought that was 2-6, turns around, it is the 1-6 there for Isaac. East kind of kicking into the breeze a little bit, and this one's going to go out of bounds. So Erie will get good field position here to start this drive. They need it. They have not had great field position so far except for the Bradford return. And Tigers had a 4th and 1. They went play action, got single coverage, and just couldn't quite get the connection. So 1st and 10 from the 40 here for Erie, as they're looking for their first score of the game. It'll be interesting to see who comes out, and it looks like it is Gavin Mendoza this time at quarterback. Dion Lucero last time. Tigers trying to mix things up there with the signal caller in the backfield. 1st and 10 here for Erie. Mendoza sends a man in motion. Ball spot at the far hash. Hands it off, and it's blown up. Gardner bounces off of it, breaks the tackle in the open field across the 50. He's got a first down and shove out of bounds. That's by far the best run of the day for the Tigers as they pick up 19 yards. Tyler Gardner on the carry.
And Gardner showing Roper-like patience as he waited behind his line, saw a chance to jump it, and burst out to the right side for a Tiger first down and a 14-yard gain.
Tigers already at the line of scrimmage here. Now they'll check in with the sideline. Longest play of the day. Before that, it was a 4-yard run by Vivi. Now here's the handoff again. Weaving his way as Gardner trying to stay on his feet. And Gardner will end up picking up 3. And once again, good push from the line. These Erie running backs haven't had a lot of run against the first team. Not used to breaking a ton of tackles, and you see it with such ease. We're spoiled as Erie fans watching Noah Roper just run through arm tackles like a turnstile. Now handoff again on the stretch to Gardner, trying to bounce it out, and he gets pushed back. Forward progress will still have him lose about a yard.
And a good read there. We've been seeing that a lot. There's a good linebacking core for Pueblo East to stop the run.
And they will say that that is a 3-yard loss. Not sure about that. Gardner wasn't run backwards. He was hit at about the 40 and then kind of pushed backward, but spotted all the way back at the 41. So 3rd and 10 here for the Tigers. Mendoza in the shotgun. Tigers need to get a good pass play here. Running a corner route, and Mendoza runs into the arms of a defender, and that is Gonzalez, Pat Gonzalez on the sack, and the Tigers will have to punt again.
And I don't think Mendoza saw Gonzalez. So Gonzalez slipped out of a block, and he had a man open downfield, but just not able to connect.
Tiger offense, 4 drives, 31 total yards now. Tigers had trouble with the punt last time. Snap better, punt up, high spiraling punt toward the corner, and a pretty good one dropped probably inside the 10 here. See where the official will run to the spot it lands, and he will walk up, still going. Ooh, he's still going. No, not sure about that one. All the way up to the 15, and once again, Tiger fans, you can hear him in our crowd mic, less than pleased.
It was a good punt from Julian, and pinning East relatively deep in their own territory. Could have been a little deeper, though.
And this is about the worst field position all day so far for this Pueblo East team. So 10:05 remaining here in the half. Andrada will take the snap, and it's a broken play, and Andrada throws it away, and no one was expecting the snap. The only person that was expecting the snap to be right there was the center, and it for a second almost looked like a Statue of Liberty or something crazy instead of just a busted play.
Right, and that's where false start on everyone but the center. That's snap, only the center.
Yes, no false start because it was snap. Now here comes the pass. Looking downfield to Andrada. It's going to throw the out route. Medrano couldn't hang on. Tried to keep his toes in, and Medrano is down on the sideline. And he'll finally pop back up. A coach or a trainer bent down to check on him, and he was laying there like he was dead. Then popped right back up.
Probably just upset with himself for dropping the pass.
3rd and 10 here. Andrada only 2 of 8 for 10 yards in this one with 2 picks. Tiger pass defense looks good so far. Andrada looks to pass, trying to find it's tipped at the line and just falls in front of Ian McDonald. But once again, the D line coming up big. He was trying to, I think, hit maybe Medrano on a little drag or slant.
And that is where he was looking, but like you said, middle of that interior defensive line, got a hand on it, and McDonald just a little too far deep into coverage to come up and make the interception.
That was Nate Hackney, who already has 3 interceptions this year, who gets his paw on the ball, and now Pueblo East will punt, and it's Kane Medrano, the punter. Looks like might be Vivi, as this one is high and short. Checks on the Erie side of the field, and will be down at the 44. So excellent field position, and a very defensive game so far. 7-0 thanks to the punt block, if you will. Really bad snap that somehow Julian got out of a good effort to at least partially get it off, even though it was partially blocked as well. But 85 total yards for Pueblo East. For Erie, only 31 yards of offense, 2 through the air.
And that's something that needs to change in the second quarter. Erie defense has been stellar today, 2 turnovers, excuse me. But the offense needs to make that pay off.
1st and 10 here for Erie. Reed, it's kept by Mendoza, and he's spun around, picks up 4.
And good read there from Mendoza. Could tell the defense keying on Gardner. They've given the ball to him a lot, and took it himself, picked up about 4 yards.
Tigers averaging only 3 yards a run so far. Mendoza back on the plus side. He's got 1. Handoff, Gardner, right side, and Gardner kind of hits the wall, stops moving the feet. Well, that's something I know that they've tried to work on with him a little bit, and I think Erie's going to call a timeout. This is an important moment in this game. Well, actually, it's an official's timeout, and it's a flag from the back judge. Don't know if there was too many men or an illegal substitution.
It looked like it might have been a late hit, just seeing right where that was thrown. And Erie receiver was tangled up with the Pueblo defensive back. As the officials conference, we have a score update from the other 3A semifinal. Palm Ridge is leading Palisade 7-0 after the first quarter. And it's sleeting out there in Grand Junction.
All right, so a face mask on Pueblo East. That took a long time for the officials to figure out, and that's a big penalty and a fresh set of downs. That might be what the doctor ordered for the Tigers.
And that certainly helps Erie. Not a ton of huge plays other than that one run Tyler Gardner broke for about 20 yards. That penalty, maybe it'll kickstart the offense a little bit.
So 1st and 10 for Erie. Mendoza, the quarterback, and this time it's still Gardner, the running back. Motions McDonald. He'll run read option. Mendoza weaves his way through traffic again, and like when Mendoza keeps it, he just has a, I think, very good vision, kind of a smooth running style.
And he does. Just slipping back inside to pick up some extra yardage on that one. Good quick cuts.
Now Bradford will come into the game. We thought we might see Bradford get a carry or 2. We have not even seen him line up in the backfield. Now here is an H-back. So valuable, though, as a blocker. Bradfield, McDonald, and Nelms. That is a load. 2nd and 5. Read option again for Mendoza over the right side, and this time he'll only pick up a couple. So the Tigers still averaging under 3 yards a run. And now it's 3rd and 3, and Dion Lucero is going to come in as Mendoza is now hobbling off the field.
And that's certainly not something you want to see. Mendoza favoring a leg there.
So down Roper, and all of a sudden now down Mendoza. The good news is Dion Lucero has already gotten reps in this game. takes the snap. He's going to run draw, and he's going to run into a yellow wall. A loss of one there for Dion. And for Pueblo East, they had that one dialed in.
And it's going to be 4th and 4 for Erie after that stop. And it looks like they're going to send on the field goal unit. I like this call here from Coach Cooper.
Very windy, and the wind kind of blowing in the direction. Now, we've already seen Julian make an impact play. See if he can make another one. This will be an attempt of 36 yards from the right hash. Julian trying to line it up. Snap is good. Hold better. Kick is up, and it is good! A big field goal there for Julian, and the Tigers are on the board. And how about Julian coming up big with some big-time field goals the last couple of weeks?
And good kick there from Castine. Good hold by Furman on a little bit of a low snap. He handled it well, and Castine buried his 3rd field goal of the year to move the Tigers within 4 points.
That one was right down the pipe. Couldn't quite see the ball there as it was above our screen, but Tigers finally get on the board. Maybe that relaxes this team. You can breathe a sigh of relief. You're on the board. The pressure of not scoring without Noah is now maybe off your back a little bit. Still would like to see Erie get this offense, and in particular the run game, going.
You sure would, and Pueblo East right now keying on that run game. Without Noah, not a ton of yards per carry for the Tigers. You'd also like to see them get that pass game going just to open up your run game a little bit. When you're throwing the ball, it forces them to move linebackers out of that box, gives you more room to run, which is what Erie really likes to do.
Now Julian will kick this one off after the made field goal. Medrano, and the ball will blow off the tee. Medrano and Marvin London back to receive the kick here. Tigers defense been pretty good so far. Pueblo East averaging under 5 yards a carry, and a pretty good passing offense is Pueblo East. In fact, Andrada considered a very good, even a college prospect. He's thrown for 2,600 yards as there's a touchback on a low lining kick. He's thrown for 2,600 yards, 29 touchdowns, 3 interceptions all season long. He's thrown 2 so far today, and Andrada is 2 for 9 for 10 yards and 2 picks. I'd say that's pretty good defense by Erie.
And that is pretty good defense. This relatively untested pass defense stepping up to the challenge.
So 1st and 10. Low motion London in behind, handoff. Decent sized hole. McDonald will meet, I don't know if that was Rivera or Gonzalez, and it was Gonzalez. It pounded up inside. Gonzalez has 21 yards rushing now in this contest. 90 total yards here for Pueblo East. Handoff again to Gonzalez, and this time he's drugged down from behind, a couple yards short of the line to gain. I think that was Nelms that hopped in there. Now the big boys coming in. Spencer Brooks, Nate Hackney, they'll check in for Arlington and Tab on a 3rd and 2. Tigers would love a stop. Pueblo East maybe feeling momentum start to turn. They'd like to pick this one up. They're going to run the jet sweep to Kane. He's got the edge, and he will step out of bounds. A pickup of 8 on the carry for Kane Medrano, his first carry of the day. He's got 1 catch for 9 yards and now a carry for 8.
And they do like to get Medrano the ball occasionally. Averages about a carry per game. I believe his 14th carry of the year.
So fresh set of downs here for the Eagles. Ball spotted just past the 35, and a false start on Pueblo East. It was the left tackle that time as he puts his head down. The hard count got the Tigers, but unfortunately for Pueblo East, it also got their left tackle.
And Josh Bradford pointing to the left tackle. Maybe helping out the official a little bit.
That was Buddy Almontauk. Fans, don't forget to subscribe to the Erie Tiger Network YouTube channel. We're about 50 subscribers away from being monetized. It'd help us out if you did that. You can also like this video. Handoff, right side, and once again the Tiger D-line doing pretty good. Gonzalez did kind of get an extra little effort there after Hackney was able to hog tie him, but gets back to the original line of scrimmage on a decent gain of 5 yards there. And now Gonzalez starting to get some carries, stringing them together. Andrada, play action, looks, slant, low throw, caught by Medrano, and he's still going to be about 3 yards short, but a 7-yard pickup. And Andrada was 0 for his last 4, connects for 7.
Good tackle by Dylan Hall to keep Pueblo East from getting the first down.
3rd and a long 3. Andrada will send Marvin London in motion. Now a little pitch here to Medrano. He's got the first down across the 50 and out of bounds. And there's a Tiger down all the way back near the line of scrimmage. I believe that is Ian McDonald. And the ball will be spotted at the 43. So a pickup there of about 17 yards for Medrano. Now Andrada trying to outrun the defender that I believe was Dylan Hall chasing him down, and he's able to get the corner and pick up about 8. Only the 4th time Andrada has taken it down and run. 52 yards total for Andrada rushing. That leads the team.
And Tab Sire, I believe, was the one that got into the backfield, forced him out. Then Hall, like you said, closing the play, making the tackle.
Andrada sends a man in motion again. Tigers trying to blitz the A-gap, and they do. Well-timed blitz. Perfectly timed, really. And I think that was Ian Vera that shot the gap and dropped Gonzalez in the backfield for a loss of about 3.
And that was a good play there from Vera. Good play call from Coach Mickens.
So 3rd down and 5. Crowd loud again. Erie sideline has done a good job. Andrada, the rollout, he's going to run option, keeps it, dives, he's short. Well short of the first down. In fact, he only picked up about a yard. As once again, the Tigers front moving the line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up 3rd and 3, and I imagine Pueblo East is going to go for it.
And it does appear that they will go for it on 4th and 3.
4th and 3. Sorry about that. Andrada sends a man in motion, 2 men in motion, and everyone has to get completely reset here. Otherwise, it would have been too many men in motion. Now here comes a fake, a throw down the sideline, plucked out of the air by Medrano, and that is why Kane Medrano is a D1 recruit.
And the pass was actually looked to be a little bit tipped by Dylan Hall, but Medrano able to pull it in off the slight deflection.
A little play or pass fake, pump fake there on the screen, and then just threw it up the sideline. And it looked like Hall, as you said, had a fingertip on it, but Medrano, too tall, too good. 1st and 10 from the 11. Handoff up the middle, and Noah Rivera will waltz in to the end zone for an 11-yard score. And Pueblo East with the touchdown. They'll go up a couple scores.
And Erie defense on their heels, maybe not fully set, fully ready for the run. And a big hole up the middle for Rivera. So
on to kick the extra point now. For Pueblo East is Thomas Wagner, and that one is good. So a touchdown there for Rivera and the Eagles. They lead Erie 14-3. We'll take a quick timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Yeah, I'm married. Doesn't matter. You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so.
Another reason more people stay with State Farm. Get to a better state.
And welcome back in. The Tigers find themselves trailing by a couple scores. As here comes a little squibber, and that one is fumbled around, then finally picked up by Bradford. And Josh, a couple yard return up to the 38. So Tigers, they need some good offense here, and well, they were down 2 scores last year to this Pueblo East team. They had to score a late first half touchdown. They went into the locker room trailing. Could find themselves in a similar position here.
You're right, down 3-14, better than 14-0. But the offense does need to get going.
And Gavin Mendoza will come out here. So he seems to be okay. He comes out with Tyler Gardner, and so far the Tigers really struggled 2 passing yards. They struggled through the air. Handoff Gardner, right side. Off the tackle, and just kind of patiently waited and was able to pick up some yardage. And a good pickup there that time for Tyler.
And Gardner, the longer he has to wait to make his cut, the better his runs are looking. Patience is a virtue, and Gardner proving it right there.
Now Dion Lucero will check into the game. Tigers maybe want to open things up a little bit more here. Lucero kind of the more seasoned passer. Lucero's going to run read option, takes it to the right, and he gets dumped head over heels. He picks up about a half a yard. In fact, they'll give him about a yard. And Erie fans starting to lose their minds. So 3rd down and 7. Lucero, the quarterback here. Gardner behind him. 1:54 left. They're going to run play action. Pass just short for Nelms. It was fluttering out of the hand of Lucero. He had Nelms open on an out route, and Nelms couldn't quite adjust and get to it. So the Tigers will be forced to punt. And for Erie, in the first half, 46 total yards. That tells the story right there.
And defense keeping Erie in this one so far today.
So the snap, Julian to punt. Pretty good punt. And that one hit just out of bounds before it hopped in right around the 10, and that is, we'll spot at the 11. Good news is Pueblo East pretty far backed up, but this Tiger defense has been on the field quite a while. Now, obviously, in high school, a lot of two-way players anyway. You'd like to see your offense get a couple first downs, get some momentum, and so far Erie just been unable to do that.
Defense has done a good job. Set up in a bad position on when the ball was on the 1 yard line. And Pueblo East just getting a little bit going with their last drive.
Handoff up the middle. Gonzalez still on his feet. And he'll pick up 4.
Took a while for the Erie linebackers to bring him down, but they did. Ended up driving him sideways. The line judge on the far side not having to move much as Rivera kept going.
By the way, 150 yards rushing now for Pueblo East. 1:06 remaining. If they don't get a first down here, they might run it. They have a man open down the field, and it is caught. Misplaying it was Caleb Furman. He came underneath, looked like he was camped under it for the interception, and then misjudged the flight of the ball, and a big pass play there on a connection from the 15 all the way across midfield down to the Erie 40.
And it did look like Furman had a shot at that one, but came too far in. And Caden Bowman able to pick up the catch for Pueblo East. Has to come off the field. His helmet came off.
45 yards on the pass play. Now Andrade will take it himself, and he is cut down. Good open field tackling there by Eddie Pena.
And then good sportsmanship as well, helping him up as I believe Pueblo East will take a timeout, and they will.
Erie's had some pretty good open field tackles so far today. That's kind of what's been limited this Pueblo East offense, but Erie now, they've got to make a stop here before the half.
They do really need a stop before the half. Pueblo East in scoring territory at the 33-yard line. This defense needs to hold for 42 more seconds and get into the locker room, regroup, see if you can make some halftime adjustments to get the offense going.
So 2nd and 3. And it sounded like the official was trying to say something. I don't know if he left his mic on. That's why we paused for a moment. Now the officials are conferencing. I don't think there's a penalty about to be administered.
I believe it's involving the clock. They just took 8 seconds off it. Now 34 left. Saw Coach Cooper on the field asking about it at the beginning of the timeout. Now the officials explaining it to the coach of Pueblo East.
Maybe he didn't start on time. Well, works out in Erie's favor. So 2nd and 3, 34 seconds left. Man in motion. They're going to go down the sideline. Another leaping grab by Medrano inside the 10, and it looked like another interception that was dialed in. And so far on this drive, 2 huge mistimed jumps or plays by Erie defensive backs.
And that one just thrown for Medrano. Great throw from Andrade. Put it over the leaping hands of Eddie Pena. And there was a late flag, I believe.
And a personal foul on Ian Vera. Oh boy, the Tigers are in some trouble now. So 1st and goal. Andrade under center. Gonzalez behind him. And he will clock the ball here with 26 seconds left. And Pueblo East looking like they might take a timeout here. They have 2 timeouts left. In fact, both teams do. Andrade, 3 for his last 3 for 95 yards. After starting 2 for his first 9 with 2 picks and 10 yards. Andrade takes it himself, has a path to the end zone touchdown. And a touchdown there for Pueblo East. Puts the Eagles on top by 3 scores.
And the Erie defense looking tired there. as Pueblo East not a lot of trouble scoring.
So 22 seconds remaining here. And gotta imagine the Tigers will just go to the locker room and look to regroup after a very rough end to this quarter. And a false start, and I think that one was going to be missed. All kinds of personnel issues down there for Pueblo East.
5-yard penalty and a re-kick.
So they are going to back up. Pueblo East here for the retry on the extra point.
Waiting on a football from their own sideline.
And here we are still waiting. The longest, seems like last couple minutes of a half ever, and now a stoppage from the near sideline official. At least he waved and started walking in, and now he'll back out. So here we go. Tigers trying to block this one. They almost get to it, but it just sneaks in the left upright. Tigers actually got good pressure. Bradford shot the A gap, kind of leaped over one of the linemen and almost don't even know, actually not even sure how he missed that. And couldn't quite tell there at the, just missed our replay window. 22 seconds left, and man, Pueblo East now 284 yards on offense. Erie, 46.
And good for Erie. You might think that you're only down 18 with offensive discrepancies. Those 2 turnovers forced. Big for the Erie defense. Not getting any points off of them, though. That stings.
Yeah, that kind of, when you see that, Grayson, you see 2 quick turnovers, it feels like things are going your way, and you come up empty. Then the other team, at some point, something good is going to happen for them. You must capitalize when you're given opportunities. Tigers just haven't been able to do so far. Another squibber. Lucero will catch this one, and he will lean it out across the 40. 19 seconds left, 2 timeouts. You're down 3 scores. Good field position. You have a good field goal kicker. Do you take it to the locker room because it's been a rough go, or do you try and maybe squeak out some points here?
I think you've got to at least think about trying to squeak out some points. Try a passing play on first down. If it doesn't work, you can take a knee to end the half. If it does work, you can call a timeout. And it looks like Erie will go with 3 wide receivers.
So Lucero, see what he does here. They will throw. He's looking to the air. Now Lucero will take it himself, and Lucero's got to get out of bounds. Now they'll have to burn a timeout. So a 9-yard pickup there. That is the second longest run of the day. A 19-yarder by Gardner, and outside of that, Erie has not had a run over 5 yards.
And Lucero, this last one, had some open ground in front of him, went ahead and took advantage of it. Good coverage down the field, though, so unable to stretch it out.
Well, after this half, we're going to take a break, but don't forget to join us for the Miners halftime show. I know we have a crowd watching, and Miners also sponsoring our halftime show. So be sure to stay tuned for that. If you're looking for the best post-game, then look no further than Miners on Briggs Street. So 2nd and 2, but really the down and distance not a factor. Only 11 seconds left on the clock. Erie does have a timeout. First down will stop the clock. So you got to think, get a first down, go up, maybe spike the ball. You might have one more play, probably 2 plays left in this half. Lucero's going to throw the quick turnaround to Furman, and he will get out. So first down with 7 seconds left.
And good quick out call. Pueblo East defensive backs playing back. And
only the second completed pass of the day for the Tigers. Now you can kind of run something down the middle. It's got to be quick, though, and call a timeout. Furman's got it. He'll step out. Tigers will get to save that timeout. And another pickup of 8. So their 2 longest pass plays of the day. And I think Erie, you might as well use it if you got it. Spencer Brooks kind of hobbling as he's coming over to the sideline. And so, what, you put in the tall package and just throw a Hail Mary? Or Julian Costine's going to come out here to try a 55-yarder, and here comes a timeout from Coach Cooper. Man, if you're Pueblo East, I think you got to send someone back. That is a long, long way to go for Julian, whose career long, I believe, is only 36 yards. We'll have to double check that.
that is his season long. He's warming up expecting a kick. And he routinely hits long kicks in practice, but hasn't really gotten a chance to. I think the wind kind of blowing back towards the right side of the field. Well, you really just need to time it up. The flags at the top of the goalposts going in all directions.
Almost look if you, well, we can't, we don't have communication down to our man Joe down on the field, but the other field goal post, it kind of looks like it could even be blowing at his back. So 55 yards.
Pueblo East does send Medrano back.
And a timeout. This time by Pueblo East. So it's going to add to the drama here before the end of the half. The longest field goal in Julian's career, we're trying to track that down.
Is 37 yards.
Yeah, a 37-yarder his sophomore year. So he has not even made a field goal over 40, let alone from 55.
Well, we'll see how big Julian's leg really is right here.
Big gamble paid off good for Coach Cooper last year. See if a gamble can pay off for him at the end of this first half. Snap high, hold is good, and the kick is wide left. So that will do it here in the half. Almost looked like a little missed time. I think Julian was a little bit excited. Started his steps a little too early, but that one sails wide left. But at the end of the first half of play, the Tigers find themselves down 21-7. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back, have the Miners halftime show for you here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Open up a browser and look up youtube.com/Erie Tiger Network. To subscribe, sign into YouTube and press the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive notifications about ETN posts. To like the video, click the thumbs up button on the right hand side of the screen. Use the bar on the bottom of the screen to move and skip parts in the video. To skip forward or backwards, use the arrow keys to move 5 seconds. You can pause the video at any time by pressing the spacebar or clicking with the mouse.
Front Range Landfill puts all your needs in front of everything else. Front Range Landfill won Erie Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year Award, as well as being featured on national television. We are very proud of our facility and we welcome the opportunity to address your disposal needs. Our focus is on customer service. We strive to achieve easy and rapid access in and out of the facility. We feel certain that we will exceed your expectations of your solid waste disposal requirements. Choose Front Range Landfill for all your landfill needs. You will be pleased.
Do you have a plan in place for your family's future in the event something happens to you? Are you caring for aging parents, grandparents, or a loved one with special needs? The Germany law firm named 2017 Erie's Chamber Business of the Year provides expert legal guidance and peace of mind for you and your family in the areas of probate, elder law, and estate planning. Visit Germany Law Firm's Erie Village office or website at coelderlaw.net to set up a personalized consultation.
You are watching the ETN.
Wanted to support the Erie Tiger Network, the student media arm of Erie High School? Well, now you can. We have set up a Patreon page. There's a way for you to send us a monthly pledge in order to provide funding for the program, as well as get access to reward tiers. As a Tiger fan, you get the satisfaction of knowing you are helping out your favorite local media organization. As a member of the ETN fan club, you are officially recognized on air and can receive ETN goodies throughout the year. As an in-broadcast red sponsor, you get to sponsor a specific segment of any broadcast. For more information, email bird_brandon@sbbsd.org. This is a $25 per month commitment. As an appreciator of Erie's live broadcast with the weekly news, you can help support this program by becoming one of our patrons by going to bit.ly/ETN Patreon.
I'm Gavin Mendoza.
I'm Jamie Noam.
I'm Noah Roper.
I'm Spencer Brooks, and thanks for watching Tiger Football on the Erie Tiger Network.
Thanks for watching Tiger Football on the Erie Tiger Network.
Thanks for watching Tiger Football on the Erie Tiger Network.
And thank you for watching Tiger Football on the Erie Tiger Network.
There's a beast deep inside you. It will not die.
Ooh.
It will fight back.
The Miners halftime show here on the Erie Tiger Network on this 3A semifinal Saturday. As the Tigers find themselves down right now at the half 21-3 as they look for some offense. We're going to watch some halftime highlights for you Didn't quite get all of Pueblo East. Have to always remember our highlight system does not capture every play. It only captures plays that we immediately replay. So apologize for those of you that are Pueblo East fans looking to watch some of the Pueblo East highlights. But here are some highlights from the first half. Actually, we don't have sound on those. Well, Tigers, they started off with an interception from Kana, and you felt pretty good at that point. Secondary knew was going to get tested. They start off with an interception. Then they turn over the ball. Then guess what? Here comes Bradford with an interception. So 2 interceptions in the first 4 passes for the Tigers, and it felt like momentum was on the Tigers' side. Well, they would have a couple runs. They'd be stopped short, 4th and 2. That's when Mendoza would run play action. He was looking for Caleb Furman in the back of the end zone. Ball high in the wind, and Furman tried to come down with it, but just came down out of bounds. Then the Tigers, they stopped Pueblo East, got the ball back, punted. Castine fielded a high snap, tried to punt it away. Pueblo East recovered on the 1. They'd be backed up. They would score. Tigers, they would finally get the ball back. They'd start moving a little bit here. Best run of the day for the Tigers. It was Gardner, 19 yards, much needed for Erie as they would get into Pueblo East territory. Tigers, though, they weren't able to quite get it in the end zone. They would end up settling for a field goal by Julian Castine, who went 1 of 2 in that first half, and see him there from the right hash. A kick of 36 yards, a great hold from Furman after a snap that kind of almost went behind him. And so that was the only points for Erie. Then in the third quarter, the Eagles really exploded. 2 more touchdowns after that for Pueblo East off runs, and really that last one was a heartbreaker. 95 yards through the air on the last 3 passes for Andrada, and 2 of those were passes that looked like they should have been picked off. And you have flashbacks of Raheem Moore for the Broncos just mistiming a jump, and that's what happened with the Erie defensive backs a couple of times. And, well, it cost Erie dearly as they surrendered a late touchdown. They tried to pick up a late field goal wide left on a 55-yard try. And the Tigers, right now on offense, they are looking for answers.
And they are. And the answer might come in changing a few things up. You want to go more to the air, more up-tempo, more to the outsides. Pueblo East, their front 7, and even 8 or 9, they're all keying on those runs in between the tackles. You've got to start spreading the ball out if you're Erie.
By the way, this halftime show is brought to you by Miners. If you're looking for the best place for the postgame, look no further than Miners on Briggs Street. Here are some halftime stats for you as well. The Tigers collectively are they are 3 of 8 passing for 16 yards, 1 of 3 for Gavin Mendoza for 2 yards, 2 of 5 for Deion Lucero for 14 yards. Rushing-wise, only 53 total rushing yards, 29 for Gardner, 8 for Mendoza, 7 for Vivi, and 9 for Deion Lucero. That amounts to 2.9 yards per carry. Caleb Furman, he had 2 catches. Aaron Dixon had 1, 69 total yards of offense for Erie in the first half. Their only score came off that field goal, and it has been a struggle. For Pueblo East, really slow first quarter. 2 turnovers. They didn't do much else. Their first touchdown came from only really 5 yards out after they got the ball at the 1. But then they started picking things up. A couple big drives, finally started getting some yardage. Luke Andrada in this one so far, 7 of 13 for 121 yards. Pat Gonzalez, he had 12 carries for 30 yards. Noah Rivera, he had 17 carries for 5 yards and a score. Luke Andrada, he had 7 carries for 66 yards. He leads all rushers in this one. And Kay Medrano, he actually had 3 carries for 50 yards as well. He also had 2 catches, one for 9, one for 25. Actually, I think he had another one for 25 in there, so 3 catches for 59 yards. Caden Bowman, 1 catch for 45. Joe Padula had a catch for 5. Braden Harding, a catch for 5 yards. 284 total yards for Pueblo East, and they lead the Tigers right now 21-7. Your Coach Toof, your Coach Cooper down in there in that locker room. Coach Mickens making some adjustments. What types of things do they need to do to get back into this game?
Well, I'll start on the defensive side first. Your pass rush has to get to Andrada a little bit quicker. I'd also keep one of your linebackers as a spy. He's been able to take some broken plays, turn those into yards. Otherwise, defense just make some better reads on those interceptable passes. And the rest should be good for them at halftime. They have been on the field a lot. Like you said, a lot of them are two-way players, especially in the front 7.
And real quick before we go to break, I think we have an update in the other 3A semifinal that's happening in Palisade, as Palisade hosting Palmer Ridge. And let's take a look here. I think we have a score for you. And once again, we're not getting our graphic to fire. Good grief. But you have a score, Grayson.
I do have a score. It's 14-7. Palmer Ridge leads at halftime. And there is some sleet in Palisade. A receiver for Palmer Ridge got hurt early. I believe that was Deuce Roberson. And he hasn't been back in since. A lot of it with the sleet, the precipitation, the scoring has been on the ground. Palisade, a team that usually keeps it on the ground anyway. So the elements working in their favor.
By the way, don't forget to check out the Tiger Times, a student newspaper. Go to erietigertimes.com. Stories you can sink your teeth into. We are going to take a timeout. Tigers, they trail it. We'll be back for the second half kickoff. You watch the Miners, post-game, or good grief, halftime show here on the Erie Tiger Network. We'll take a break.
I'm Miss Addington. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.
You are watching the ETN.
Do you want a better smile, have a broken bracket, or are you a teenager in need of some braces? Then make your way down to Caraway Orthodontics. They are located in Louisville and Erie. Caraway Orthodontics supports Erie High School and its community. Come in and gain a beautiful smile for children, teens, and adults. They also provide Invisalign. Call this number 303-828-0454 or go to carawayortho.com.
Click the search bar on the top right-hand corner of the screen and search up Erie Tiger Network. Click the channel icon and then press the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive notifications about when we post. Click the thumbs up icon to like the video. To enter full screen mode, press the icon on the bottom right hand corner. To skip forward or backwards 10 seconds, double tap the left or right hand side of the screen. Press the pause button in the middle of the screen to pause the video. To skip to a different video, press the skip button when the video is paused. Open up a browser and look up youtube.com/Erie Tiger Network. To subscribe, sign into YouTube and press the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive notifications about ETN posts. To like the video, click the thumbs up button on the right hand side of the screen. Use the bar on the bottom of the screen to move and skip parts in the video. To skip forward or backwards, use the arrow keys to move 5 seconds. You can pause the video at any time by pressing the spacebar or clicking with the mouse.
Front Range Landfill puts all your needs in front of everything else. Front Range Landfill when Erie.
And we're back live here at Dutch Clark Stadium, home of all the Pueblo teams. Do kind of wonder how this game would have played out had it been in Erie. Like at least the Erie fans, I think most non-biased people would agree that's probably where the game should have been played. Unfortunately, got to keep rowing the boat, as the Tigers would say. Doesn't matter what kind of controversy you see, got to keep rowing the boat. Tigers will get the ball. That's the good news here. Bad news is they have not been able to do anything offensively. In fact, they have almost as much interception return yardage as total offense on the long return by Bradford. But hope springs eternal here for the start of half number 2. So here you go. What is this team made of? What type of adversity can it overcome? Squibber, Lucero trying to pick it up, finally does, and then gets brought down to 30. That's one of those you almost just want to see your guy fall on it. And then Celeste came up, almost stole it away. A little nervy start here for Erie. Well, let's see what they do. You didn't move the ball a ton with either quarterback. Dion may be the more seasoned passer, but you've been riding with Mendoza all year. He's a guy that teammates respect, and he's just a good leader, and that's who will start this half is Mendoza. They'll come out with Gardner and a couple wideouts. Tigers, they'll start with a run to Gardner over the right side, and Gardner pinballs his way for 5 yards. A little better run that time. As for Gardner, that's his second longest run of the day, a run of 5.
And good job by Gardner keeping the legs turning, falling forward to get that extra yardage.
We'll actually only give him 4 there. It's Mendoza in the shotgun again. Runs Reed, keeps it, trying to get away from one tackler, and he's going backward, a loss of 2. And more of the same so far for Erie. Thought we might see a couple wrinkles. We haven't seen really any different personnel groupings from Erie in the backfield. We haven't seen any outside runs, really, in terms of option or jet sweeps or anything. So far, Erie not able to do much.
No, and they will go to 4 wide receivers, though, on 3rd and long.
So important play here for the Tigers. Mendoza throws it over the head of Nelms, who is double covered, and a 3 and out for the Tigers, and they will be forced to punt.
And not the start you wanted to see for Erie. After not being able to get anything going in the first half, they get a net 3 yards on their first drive in the second half. And now it's going to be up to the defense to get another stop.
Well, we kind of talked about who the next man up is, and so far we've only seen Tyler Gardner, really, and maybe a little bit of Mason Vivi get some carries. And now the Tigers will be forced to punt this one high into the air. And a fair catch called, bounces at the 20 and out at the 14.
And good punt from Julian, flipping the field.
Sorry, our halftime logo was frozen there on our screen, so that's why it continued to say halftime. Well, Erie's defense played well through the first quarter and about half of the second quarter. See if they can tighten up here. They need to stop. This would be worst case scenario. You go 3 and out. If they were to give up a score here, that might about do it for your chances. But you make one play, it's funny what confidence will do for 16 and 17-year-olds. Andrada in the shotgun alone. First time we've seen this look from Pueblo East. Takes the snap, throws the screen, plenty of room, and a big gain of 14 on first down.
Offensive line didn't really move at the snap, and neither did the Erie defensive line. So plenty of time for Andrada to get the ball out.
That was Padula on the catch. Now a 3 wide receiver stack plus another one, and they'll throw the screen again. This time it's dropped, and that was a forward pass. That was a good call by the sideline official. Tigers kept playing like it was a fumble, and actually I think you'll see it here come into your screen. Start our replay a little early, but yep, just about a yard forward, so no fumble there, but that'll bring up second. That's the first incomplete pass out of the last 6 for Andrada, who got hot there toward the end of the second quarter. 10:15 remaining, 2nd and 10. Andrada sends a man in motion. Gonna hand it off to Gonzalez, and once again, the Tiger run defense still stout, and it was Nate Hackney just manning the gap, shedding the block, and making a big tackle.
And Erie not fooled by the misdirection, recognizing the draw and making a play to set up 3rd and 8.
Tigers looking for a stop, must get a stop here. Andrada, low snap, looks, fires the fade route to Medrano, who just plucks it out of the air, and that is a size mismatch. Safety not there in time, and not much Pena could do, who's got to be about 7 inches shorter than Kane Medrano.
Yeah, and Medrano, like you said, just reached up and took the ball with ease.
A 30-yard pass play, and now here comes a run that has good yardage, and that's another 11. And a flag, though, has fallen. That is Kane Medrano, by the way, that last catch, his 3rd catch of 25 or more yards. And 3 of them have been those high balls that he's plucked out of the air. Now, holding back to the line of scrimmage, that's going to make it 1st and 20. And just by looking at the body language down there, the Tigers look a little bit deflated right now. Got to find a way to keep your energy in this.
They could use a big play right now.
.932 left. 21-3 lead here for Pueblo East. Andrada's got 3 wide. They'll send Medrano in motion. They're going to fake it to him. A little shovel pass up the middle. Tigers initially looked like they stopped, and then spinning out of a tackle and getting forward was Marvin London. A very good pickup there of about 14 yards on the shovel pass.
And that time the misdirection worked. The front 7 there. London too quick. Got to the 2nd level before being dragged down.
Andrada now 180 yards passing. He's in the shotgun, 4 wide, 2 to either side of the field. Tigers need to make a play. Andrada, low snap, looking, fires the fade, or that was more of a post route to London and just overshot him. We are way up here at Dutch Clark Stadium. So every once in a while. And the windows are about they're like peering out of World War II bunkers up here. So sometimes it's hard to track that football. 3rd and 5 after the incomplete pass. Got to figure this probably about 4 down territory. Man in motion. And now Gardner Tigers a little bit confused on defense. And now they have to shift their defense to cover it up. They'll send a man off the blitz. The throw caught by London out of bounds. He is short. In fact, I think he only got maybe a yard.
And still probably 4 down territory, like you said, for Pueblo East. 3.5 minutes into this 3rd quarter.
Kind of a little corner blitz there, and Andrada had to retreat. And then just found the check down. 4th and 4. Here for Pueblo East, the Erie crowd now getting into it. Andrada in the shotgun. Has a man in motion. Fakes. He'll run the draw. Being stretched out. Will he get the corner? He will. 1st down yardage and more out across the 25.
And not a great angle taken. Andrada, we mentioned a 10.66 100-meter dash. And the angle taken by Eddie Pena allowed him to bounce it outside. If Pena had maybe come more upfield, forcing Andrada to cut back in would have been ideal.
1st and 10 now for Pueblo East. A little bit of early movement, no call there. Handoff to Gonzalez, and he just picks his way forward. And he's got 5. And now Erie defense stung a little bit. 3 and out, you punt, and now Pueblo East trying to go down and basically shut the door on this one, especially with the way this Erie offense is playing. 2nd and 5 for Andrada. Low snap, looks, fires. Down the middle it was tipped, and Furman was coming in to try and make the hit, and I don't think he saw the tipped ball.
And you wish Furman had stayed back. That ball was tipped to right where he was. So if Furman hadn't come up, well, obviously maybe it wouldn't have been tipped, but would have fallen right to where he was.
3rd and 5.
Erie needs a stop.
Couple of them. And Tigers flinch. Did they get drawn off? And one official says they did. And so, man, that has been a huge weakness. As amazing as the front 4 has been for the Tigers all season long, the one thing they have lacked is snap count discipline. And they get caught again.
And still 3rd and 1, though, for Pueblo East.
And Andrada just tumbling his way inside the 5. A 10-yard pickup for Andrada, and they are knocking on the door here of another score. We mentioned it last week. The moment Noah Roper went down, that was a nightmare scenario, as the Tigers have basically leaned on him for their offense for 3 years. Fade route, Medrano plucks it, scores it, touchdown Pueblo East.
And Kane Medrano just too big for Eddie Pena to be able to cover, and good enough throw from Andrada that Medrano had no trouble with it.
So another touchdown there for Pueblo East, and right now they are routing Erie. As here comes the extra point, and you felt like you get the ball, we could score, stop, and we're right in this game. It'd be a 1-score game. The complete opposite has happened, and it is costing Erie dearly. We'll take a break.
Do you want a better smile, have a broken bracket, or are you a teenager in need of some braces? Then make your way down to Caraway Orthodontics. They are located in Louisville and Erie. Caraway Orthodontics supports Erie High School and its community. Come in and gain a beautiful smile for children, teens, and adults. They also provide Invisalign. Call this number 303-828-0454 or go to carawayortho.com.
Click the search bar on the top right-hand corner of the screen and search up Erie Tiger Network. Click the channel icon and then press the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive notifications.
And welcome back into Dutch Clark. A little squibber picked up quickly by Erie, and that's Augustin Celeste taking up to the 44.
Good quickness from Celeste, trying to get something going. And Erie will again start with good field position.
One thing you can't do is go 3 and out if you're Erie to start the half. You can definitely not afford to do it twice. In fact, I think if Erie were stopped on 3rd down, almost be forced to go for it at this point. And just trying to figure out what do you do without Noah Roper. And I think we knew Noah was good. I think Erie fans finding out just how special he was.
Lucero in at quarterback.
Hard count, handoff, left side, and Gardner had a hole, kind of hesitated and shot through it, but got tripped up.
And feels like the play calling has been really similar to what we've seen all season when Erie has Noah Roper. And, well, without him, you'd like to see them mix it up a little bit more.
Now Lucero in the pistol here. 2 wide outs, 1 to each side, and 2 tight ends. Play action, passing play. Lucero's going to float one in the wind, and I don't know if it was lost by Vivi in the sun, but he was running and then kind of stumbled, but that was about 2 or 3 yards away from his intended path.
Yeah, and he was open too. The throw a little short, but that also couldn't tell if Vivi was in the right spot or not.
So now 3rd and 6, Tiger fans kind of out of it right now. Stop route, caught by Furman, right near the down to gain. I think they might give it to him. We'll see. This one's going to be awfully close. And first down is signaled there by the white hat. Tigers trying to go real quick here. Mendoza runs the draw, or excuse me, that's Lucero. And Lucero, a pickup of a couple. So 2nd and 8, Tigers desperate to score here. And they are going to have to start doing it quickly. 6:17 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Hard count, Lucero. It's a man to jump. They'll say it wasn't into the neutral zone.
And it was the nose guard. Looked like his helmet was right over the ball.
Now Lucero, check the play at the line. Gets the snap, looking, has Caleb Furman wide open down the seam, plucked out of the air, and Furman down inside the 10. It was thrown a hair behind him, or I think Furman would have scored easily, but a huge play for the Tigers.
And the crowd getting back into it. You can see in their postures, they've straightened. Erie needed that desperately.
40 yards on the strike from Lucero to Furman. And now the Tigers in business. Now they'll run Wildcat with Bradford and Vera. The Thunder package. Vera's going to follow Bradford, and he will lean it to the 5, a pickup of 2 for Ian Vera. We thought we might see him get a few more carries, and now a late flag. And I don't know who this one's going to be on, as a Pueblo East player has no helmet on right now. And sometimes that's indicative of a penalty on the other team.
Personal foul, number 22 of the offense.
And so Ian Vera, a personal foul call. That's his second personal foul penalty of the day. And that one's real costly because that's going to back up Erie after having first and goal at the 7. I think that was after the play, too. Well, did they call another one? Yep, dead ball foul. So second down. That was the far sideline official pointing up, saying that happened. They're marking it off from like the 4.
And I do think that was where Vera ended up. So decent, well,
a generous spot. Not a good penalty. So now second and goal from the 18, or make that the 19-yard line. Lucero, the quarterback again. Play action again. Looking, fires the out route. Caught by Furman. And a pickup there of about 6 down to the 13. Tigers want to bite off a chunk. Got 6. 4 down territory, really, with Erie. So you're probably looking at another play where you could bite off a few more yards before you try and score it on 4th down. Love to score it here, though, if you could. Nelms this time is split out wide. Vivi, Kana, Furman, the other wideouts. Furman was open for a second, then the hole kind of closed up. Pass to him, off of him, and he's asking for a flag, saying he got contacted with a little bit early.
And I'd agree with Caleb. It looks like the hit was about a second early. And we'll look at the replay.
Lucero trying to throw against the grain here, and maybe just a hair early. So 4th down and a very important play here. Tigers will go to the air, no doubt. Lucero looks right, rolling right, looking for the end zone, throws it underneath. That's not going to do it as Nelm stays on his feet, goes and scores a huge play for Jamie Nelms. He would not give up. And he scores it from 12 out. Let's take a look at that again.
Jamie Nelms saying, "Hello, Pueblo defense. This is me. I haven't gotten the ball yet, and this is what I can do." Holy cow.
What a spin move for the big fella. Ball in the left hand. And I said, that's not going to do it. And Jamie Nelms said, "Mr. Bird, you be quiet. I'll take over for you." All right, so lesson learned. Do not doubt Jamie with the ball in his hands. Hungry and willing to score, and the Tigers score their first touchdown of the game. Snap. Good. Kick up, and it is good. And so the Tigers have a little bit of life. They're still down 18 points. We'll take a timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network.
I'm Miss Addington. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.
And welcome back in. A much-needed score for the Tigers. Maybe breathes a little bit of life into the sideline and certainly into the announcer booth. As the Tigers score their first touchdown on a 12-yard pitch and catch from Dion Lucero to Jamie Nelms. Now what a catch and run after the catch it was. A spin by the big man. And now Castine will send this one high, and that is a touchback.
Almost made it through the uprights.
so Pueblo East will start at their own 20.
And you can hear it in the Erie crowd. You can see it on the sideline. And hopefully you'll see it on the field. But Erie with some energy for the first time since the first quarter.
Now a throw to the near side, a little screen pass. And Erie tacklers running to the ball. And you said a little bit of energy. And we mentioned you get a little bit of confidence as 15, 16-year-old. That goes a long, long way.
And it does. Good defensive play there.
So 2nd and 5. Andrada hands it off. Nice hole that time. Closed up quickly, though. McDonald there. Vera there. I think Tab Sire in there as well.
And the defense looking rejuvenated.
Boy, they need a stop here, though. Be rejuvenated, but you got to make a play here on 3rd down. Tiger fans into it. Andrada looking to pass. Throws the slant on the money. Still on his feet is Medrano. And almost stripping the ball out there was Pena, and it did pop loose. But not before Medrano hit the turf. Or that was actually Joe Padula, I believe, on the reception. So pickup there of 21 yards on the pass play. And Andrada, who started this game off so sluggish, now has 5 passing plays for over 20 yards. 1st and 10. Handoff up the middle, and Noah Rivera gets stuffed by Bradford. And he's still on his feet, but he'll blow it dead.
And Erie's run defense still looking good. Pass defense, though, needs to get him off the field on a 3rd down.
209 yards rushing, 210 yards passing for Pueblo East. How about that for balance? Now here comes Andrada in the shotgun again. Looking to pass again, wide open down the seam. He'll pull it down, though, and he's going to run. And up the sideline, and Andrada just wait for blockers to get set up all the way downfield. And a healthy gain.
And the Erie sideline and crowd wanting a holding call on Caleb Furman. Coach Cooper asking the ref for it, and I do think Furman was being held from behind, but no call.
22-yard scamper for Andrada. He actually had a man open on the seam, and he pumped it and pulled it down. That could have been a big gainer in itself. 1st and 10. Pueblo East has not been stopped in a while. Handoff up the middle, and a 4, maybe 5-yard pickup there for Gonzalez.
And 2nd and 6, we'll say. Erie needs a big play on defense.
Erie has gotten them to 3rd and 4th down. They just have not been able to get off the field. Now an out route, and that one is thrown dangerously but incomplete.
And Dylan Hall in the area code of that pass, but no one's there to make a play on it. It's 3rd.
Yeah, Tigers in a little zone defense there. And a good recognition. Hall just dropped off. So another 3rd down, but now it's 4-down territory. So Erie's going to need a couple stops again. Andrada in the shotgun. Boy, Erie'd love another turnover. Nice timing on the blitz by Vera, and shooting through the gap was Nate Hackney to make a play. A gain of 1 for Andrada, as Vera looked like Von Miller there coming off the edge, timing up the snap perfectly.
And Andrada read that. Not on the play call or if Andrada just took off, but stepped up. Nate Hackney making the play. The Tigers have to get off the field here on 4th down.
1 minute remaining here in the quarter. This is huge. Andrada in the shotgun, 4 wide, and Josh Bradford jumps. The question is, was it 4th and a titch longer than 5? And man, the Tigers just cannot keep the snap count discipline, and there is a first down for free. Just like a gut punch. And now Pueblo East can take their time and pretty much run out the first quarter here. So 1st and 10, man in motion, handoff, Gonzalez runs into the bear hug of Nate Hackney.
And gets nothing. Erie, though, could really use to force a fumble on these runs where they're wrapping the runners up in the backfield. Try to punch the ball out. Got nothing to lose.
26 seconds left. I think Pueblo East saying, let's just run out the quarter here. I don't know if they quite have, let's see, 18 left on the clock. Haven't seen the back judge's hand go up, and it hasn't. There's 10 left, so they're going to take it to the end of the quarter. So Erie, they trail it by 3 scores. 28-10. They're going to have to find some fourth quarter magic. Maybe they can find it here during the break. Take a timeout. Tigers looking for answers here on the Erie Tigers.
Do you want a better smile, have a broken bracket, or are you a teenager in need of some braces? Then make your way down to Caraway Orthodontics. They are located in Louisville and Erie. Caraway Orthodontics supports Erie High School and its community. Come in and gain a beautiful smile for children, teens, and adults. They also provide Invisalign. Call this number 303-828-0454 or go to carawayortho.com.
It's fourth quarter time here on the Erie Tiger Network. 2nd and 9 coming out of the timeout. Erie, they have gotten Pueblo East into some 3rd and longs, some 4th and longs. They have just not been able to deliver the stop they so desperately need or force a turnover since that first quarter. And they're going to need one, and they're actually going to need a few to come in bunches. Little read option, Andrada stretching it, and he will actually get run out of bounds a yard behind the line of scrimmage. And for Andrada, that is his first negative carry of the day.
And great job by Erie on the sideline, sticking with him and forcing him out of bounds.
Now 3rd and 6. If you're Pueblo East, really only trying to get about 5 or 6 yards. Snap, low, rolling, firing the out route, and almost intercepted by Ian Vera. And they're going to call Ian Vera on a personal foul. They're going to say he threw a punch. And that is a weak call. I got to turn off my mic.
And that's not a good call. Vera coming in, trying to make a play on the ball. If you're hoping the refs think about it and they pick up the flag here as they're conferencing, that wasn't a punch from Vera. I mean, you know he's been flagged before, but he was trying to make a play on the ball there. And now the refs conferencing. Erie fans yelling in. the right calls to wave the flag there say no foul. And they won't do it. And the Erie crowd.
Yeah, we're gonna have to mute our mic, and maybe deservedly so.
That's a bad call. It's not the right call. Vera's been flagged once. The Erie fans know it. The Erie sideline knows it. And, well, the way Erie's offense has played, they haven't, as Coach Cooper's going to call timeout and come onto the field to talk to the official. And the Erie crowd is showering the field with boos now.
And I had to turn off the crowd mic because, and if I'm Coach Cooper, I don't even mind taking another personal foul here. It's not going to kill you. But that's just a pathetic call.
You can't make that kind of call. I mean, Erie's defense has been mostly solid, but they would have had a chance at a 4th down stop.
1st and 10 after the penalty. And Andrada just waiting for blockers and picks up 7. Unreal. Sorry, folks. Try not to lose my temper. It's actually against CHSA protocol to be upset at officials, so I'm muting my mic here as much as I can.
And a team like Pueblo East playing the way they have, they don't really need help from officials. But in a game that could be close, there's been some plays, some penalties, maybe they could go either way. One call can make a really big difference as they run it in for a touchdown. And that is going to make it 34 or 35-10, depending on the PAT. And with 11-10 as the cannon goes off left in the game, that might be putting it out of reach.
Would have been 4th and 11. I mean, they called him for a punch. A punch, Grayson. The ball had touched his hands within a second of that arm movement.
And it almost looked like he was trying to make a play, trying to catch the ball, but apparently it was, too close to the player. So instead of having a chance at a 4th down stop, Pueblo East takes the bad call and maybe puts this one out of reach.
So 35-10, and now Erie's offense is going to have to be faster than Oregon in the Chip Kelly heyday. And it's going to have to score basically at will and then get immediate stops. I mean, the math not looking good for the Tigers in terms of win probability, probably up to about north of 95% right now for Pueblo East. And you feel for these Tiger seniors who have spilled their guts for this program. And it looks like they're going to be playing their last 11 minutes of football here.
Kicking off for the Utah Eagles, number 23, Elias Espinosa.
And a recovery by Pueblo East.
And you can't advance the ball, so let's see where they spot it. They will mark it back, but reminiscent of last year's Meade game, just off the shoulder pads of, couldn't tell who it was, but hit squib kick right to the shoulder pads. And Erie's defense is back on the field. I think that's I can't tell if it's a flag or equipment down. But it's in the shadow of the Pueblo East players, and the officials are conferencing. And it does look like 2 flags down.
The ball unsportsmanlike on the receiving team.
And there's a worthless makeup call.
And it'll back Pueblo East up, but unless Erie's defense can force an immediate turnover, they need to channel those first quarter interceptions of Andrada if they want to have a shot at this. 11:06, and Pueblo East, after the onside, not onside, but onside anyway, kick, will have the ball at their own 47-yard line.
Now Erie going to be forced to, I think, take some chances. So 1st and 10 for Pueblo East at their own 47. 11:06 remaining here on this Tiger season, which this will be their first loss of the year, and what a great run it has been. Handoff.
Number 22, Noah Rivera on the carry.
And a 3-yard pickup on first down there by Rivera.
Pueblo East content to let the clock run, and they'll snap it under 10.5 to go. Ball at midfield.
Snap, give on the outside to Rivera, and tell you what, Nate Hackney still playing ridiculously hard out there, but a first down run and a pickup of 7 for Rivera, but a late flag, or there, I don't actually know if that was late, but there is laundry on the field.
A lot of penalties called today, and you might have just been able to hear over the loudspeakers.
So a hold.
But Palmer Ridge, excuse me, they're controlling their game over Palisade, 35-7 after the third quarter.
So 2nd and 10. Only amounts to about a 3-yard penalty. For Pueblo East. 3 wide to the near side. Andrada looking to throw. Deep out. And Medrano came back for it right near the sticks. And he's going to be a yard short. Needed 10, picked up 9.
And 3rd and 1. And you've got to think if they don't get it here, the way their offense has moved the ball today, outside of the first quarter, they might just go for it.
3rd and 1. Andrada, flanking him is Rivera. Hands it to Rivera. He's got the first down as he meets McDonald and squeezes it up to the 40, a pickup of 3. Well, fans, thank you so much for tuning in all season long, as you have been faithful to us, and we appreciate it. Of course, this is not the last Erie Tiger Network broadcast. We will have boys and girls basketball, wrestling. We'd love to try and figure out how to do swimming at least once this year. There'll be lacrosse making its debut in the spring, as well as baseball and girls soccer. And there goes the fly route, and that time knocked away. Furman came over and dislodged it as Medrano was trying to go up and get it.
And for once, Medrano doesn't end up coming down with the ball.
Yeah, well covered. But even when you cover him well, he just can high point that ball and grab it. That one will stop the clock. 9:33 left. And another jump on the snap by Erie.
Ball enforcement on the defense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
I believe that's the 4th time this game. Might have been the 5th. Erie has about 65 yards in penalties, and they have come at inopportune times. 2nd and 5 now. And almost could have called that one interference. Pena kind of tugging on the jersey that time of Padula. And instead it will sail incomplete, so 3rd and 5. Moise trying to figure out what they want to do here. 35-10. Did not see this one coming. And in some ways, it has been an unusual game. Pueblo East has played well, but I think you see 35 points and you want to say, what the heck happened to the defense? Erie offense, I think, really is what has kind of let them down today. As there's another first down on 3rd down. The 3rd down conversion since the first quarter. I wish we had been keeping the stats, but it has been brutal for the Erie defense. And when they have got a 3rd down stop, they've given up almost every 4th down conversion. They just have not been able to get off the field.
No, and like you said, the offense not giving them any help staying on the field or putting up points either in this one.
Snap, give. Yardage there for Gonzalez over the right side. He's got about 7. And Pat Gonzalez still does not have north of 50 yards, even though he's closing in on 20 carries. The Tigers have bottled up the run game outside of Andrada pretty well. When he has taken it down, he has stung him pretty good. Throw to Medrano, just reaches over the helmet of Celeste and incomplete. And I think that was maybe Kana that came over, or actually that was that Dylan Hall that came over to dislodge it?
I think it was Kana and Hall. 3 players converging on Medrano, and man, coming into this game, you knew he was good, but he's been better than advertised.
You look at that, I think that might have been a touchdown. You could have said that was a football move, but good job by Kana to come over, and he kind of punched the ball there after Medrano got his footing. Man, he is a heck of a player. Going to UCLA. Tell you what, I still scratch my head every time that CSU has not offered Noah Roper, Wyoming has not offered Noah Roper. What the heck are these programs thinking?
And just watching this today, especially offensively, how valuable he is to this team.
Yeah, watch this game film and then tell me how he doesn't deserve an offer. Lobbying for him.
If the final score were to be 35-10, that's the fewest points Erie scored by 3 touchdowns.
Misdirection, 1st down yardage, and a late flag. I don't know what that came from the back judge.
And it's going to be a hold. Isaac Kano is being held, so the touchdown's coming back. Band playing anyway. Cannon went off anyway. Scoreboard hasn't been updated. People in the press box saw it.
And they're going to mark it from the spot, which was at the 15, which means it's still good enough for 1st down yardage. And so once again, the Tigers on 3rd down and long give up a 1st down. It's just been a broken record. 3rd and long, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7. Tigers just unable to get off the field. But these players have won a league championship for the first time since 1997, 21 years. An undefeated regular season. Into the semis, did not allow a touchdown in the first 2 weeks. Fortunately, not what they had hoped for here today. But a season to be proud of nonetheless, as there's a 4-yard pickup for Gonzalez. It'll be the last game for many of these players. Tyler Gardner, who he will play college athletics in lacrosse, you gotta imagine. Julian Castine, imagine he'll find his way on a college football roster. Caleb Furman, we know he has a D3 offer to Nebraska Wesleyan. And actually, he is not the first player. There's another penalty coming in. Fans starting to get a little restless. Caleb Furman, not the first player I've covered that has gotten an offer from Nebraska Wesleyan. In fact, if he does take it. When he visited, the other player I had covered out in Sterling scored the game-winning touchdown, James Skurjanik. And so he's a college football player and a senior. Of course, we mentioned Noah Roper numerous amount of times. Augustin Celeste listed as a senior.
He is.
And so this will be his last contest. Colton Kneebone. Isaac Kana, who has made so many big plays for the Tigers throughout the year. Nick Schernecke, a senior. There's a handoff. Rivera steps out of a tackle, and man, Nate Hackney, that's a senior. He is still playing his butt off. Eddie Pena, a senior. Jamie Nelms. We'll probably see him playing somewhere, college football at the next level. Clayton Johnson, a senior. Royanne Estrada, she's dealt with some injuries, but always nice to have her around. Spencer Brooks, he will play college football. Third and short here for the Eagles, as they have controlled the ball this entire quarter so far. And here comes the pass play, overthrows the intended target. 4th and short. I think East still going to try and convert. They don't have much of a kicking game. But Spencer Brooks, he was the other senior we mentioned. Alonzo Warner, he's got some time at guard this season for the Tigers. Aiden Meeks, a hockey player who converted to tackle, and he started out at left tackle, I believe so anyways, throughout the year. So Aiden, really new to football and doing a very good job, as there's a 4th down stop by Erie. That is nice to see.
But maybe a little too late. Too little too late.
I know Mike Meilinger was on the team for a little bit. Graven Freud, a senior, has just been around the program for a while. Ethan Johnson, another senior, and Brian Graylin and Anthony Pastor, your other seniors. And Nate Hackney, I think, the only one I didn't mention on the list. In fact, I'm looking. I don't know how I skipped over him, but team with a lot of great senior leadership, a lot of young talent, though. This program's not going away next year. Even though you lose Noah Roper, you still got some dudes, if you will. And Erie's going to call a timeout here with 6:15 left. Down 25, that is 4 possessions. It's just outside of 3 possessions. So that would be a touchdown about every minute and 15 seconds. Erie 2 timeouts, and they'd have to go 94 yards here on this one.
No reason why you wouldn't start just stretching the field with Lucero, some of those senior receivers. Run game not clicked today.
By the way, a huge shout out to Greg Martin. He works for the District Technology Services. He has been helping us get network. We had a clear stream last week. We've had a clear stream this week. And so a huge thanks to him as he has set us up. He was out laying line and laying hurdles over those lines last week to have us get a clear signal. And so a huge shout out to him. He spent a lot of time helping us out, and we appreciate that for sure. So a shout out to Greg Martini of District Technology Services. Also, a shout out as well to Marilyn Addington and Paul Stasina. They've helped us so much on our chat room moderating that, because we can't really do that, as that's going to be called interference, as Caleb Furman was trying to come back to the ball. So huge thanks to Paul and Marilyn. Paul, also, you see some of those cool little you're watching the Erie Tiger Network's different videos. I know he likes to play around in After Effects, and so we thank him for putting some of those together and then using his announcer voice as well on those. So so many moving parts. So crew came down here today. Joe Vinard, our cameraman. Grayson Wolf, he's our CG and director pretty much here today. Ran the clock and the graphics. Grayson Blaylock on color. Not quite over yet, though. Still 5.5 minutes to play. Play action. Lucero steps up, fires the deep in cut, and Kana had it go in and out of his hands. Pretty good throw that time from Dion. Tell you what, it'll be a real interesting decision next year for this Tiger staff. Who starts at quarterback? I think ideally you'd like to settle on one. That'll be an interesting choice. And then who kind of steps up in Noah's absence? Name that we haven't seen because he's injured, but kind of maybe a player in the mix to ascend up there. Andrew Piper. One tough thing, though, is you have to replace Nate Hackney and Spencer Brooks. Of course, they were able to replace Cameron Marcucci, so hopefully you can just keep plugging and playing away. Third down here. Snap. Lucero fires the quick route by Kana, and then he's spun out of bounds.
That's complete. Number 16, Isaac Kahana. Forced out of bounds by number 3, Frank Kushner.
And that looks like it's close to a first down. And they will move the chains with 4:59 left in this one. And something else maybe to keep an eye on for Erie. Do you really change up the playbook? You've got a lot of your young talent you're seeing today in the receiving core, in the passing game. So you wonder if they'll open up the playbook as Lucero throws an interception.
Tried to hit Vivi, going back the other way, and Kana will come back and make the tackle. That should just about do it. So many good guys down on that sideline. You got to feel for number 8 in crutches. You know, he's sick to his stomach. And you say, well, Tigers are losing by 25 points right now. This is a different game with number 8 back there. It's unreal how huge of an impact he has in that run game and on the backside of that defense.
It is, and you would have loved to see him get matched up against Medrano today. I would have loved to see that personally, as Rivera still chugging along. The athleticism of Roper versus just the size of Medrano, that would have been a fun matchup to watch. You'd like to see, I think, having no Roper, and this isn't the most outlandish thing in the world, but it's just something, watching the players, it gives them confidence having him in uniform. Just knowing you've got this incredible player who can literally put a team on his back, that's something that you don't get often.
Well, the backup quarterback in, and he's sacked way back at the 39. Tigers not ready to give up yet.
Jack Helzer, the backup.
I think Ian Vera was back there. Ian had a huge game last week.
And Ian, one of the key players returning. You'll probably see a lot of him at running back next year with Piper.
Second and real long here for Pueblo East. 3.5 minutes left. A little draw play. Vera couldn't quite close down on the tackle and finally strung out and tackled behind the line. Be also interesting to see what Pueblo East does. Andrada has been a stud for 3 years now, along with Kane Medrano. Of course, they will still have a game next week. You got to match against Pueblo East. And who's your favorite in that one?
Well, in that one, seeing the play today, how earlier, I'll say this, Pueblo East beat Palmer Ridge 28-21. It's probably going to be the state championship. Actually, it will be. Can say that with decent amount of confidence right now, given the scores of the two games. I like Palmer Ridge in the rematch. Ty Evans threw 5 picks in the first game, and, you know, he's wanting redemption for that one. And Kane Medrano is good, but Palmer Ridge is used to defending the pass. They have players in that secondary that can match up with Medrano better than anyone Erie does. So I've got to take Palmer Ridge in the rematch.
So 4th and a country mile here. Pueblo East still going to go for it. Here comes the pass wide open. Nope, intercepted. Missed his man. It's Caleb Furman, 3rd turnover of the game, and Furman out across the 40. And gives a little bit of life and a nice play for Furman. Maybe one of the last plays he'll get to make here as a senior. As you see him coming off, you can actually see his face there. Good work by Joe down there. Caleb gets the interception, but he still doesn't look like a happy camper. 2:29 remaining.
Mendoza's coming out at quarterback, and Lucero, it looks like, is coming out at receiver.
Lucero in motion, handoff to Gardner, and following the blocker, then tried to bounce it out. Picked up about 5. Tiger offense today not able to crack 200 yards so far. It was just tough sledding for them. And really, it was how they closed the second quarter and then began the third quarter. Play action. Mendoza throws the fade, and just off the hand of Caleb Furman, who looks gassed.
He does look tired down there.
Out there, got an interception, ran it, now asked to run a fade route, and he kind of ran out of steam there toward the end of that fade route.
Stops the clock with 1:52 left in the game.
Lucero in motion. They'll pitch it to him. He's going to throw the out route on the run. And a complete pass. 10-yard pickup there for the Tigers. So 1st and 10 now. Mendoza in the pistol. Scott Lucero again split out wide to the right. This time Lucero's going to run a route. Mendoza being pressured. Good block pickup. Caught by Lucero. I believe that's his first career catch. Correct me if I'm wrong. That'll be right near the first down line again. It should be about a 10-yard pickup there. Good fire that time by Mendoza. Stepped into that one and delivered it right between the 1 and 1.
And a good little block there. So Mendoza could get that throw off. Couldn't quite tell who it was. Looks like it might have been Tyler Gardner, but getting a chip block on the player coming around the edge to give him enough room to get the pass off.
Lucero again, another little pitch pass, I think. And Furman did not go deep, and I think we're going to see a roughing the passer. And Tigers getting a little bit chippy.
Colby Arlington.
And now Coach Cooper saying, hey, get under control here. Do not start to mix things up. I know Coach Cooper a little bit frustrated last week. Green Mountain players started getting a little bit chippy and wanted Erie to kind of stay out of the fray. And he definitely wanted to make sure that he was going to keep his players under control.
And looks like they're started to say it, but Colby just sticking up for his quarterback there.
His receiver quarterback in that instance. 1st and 10. Mendoza looked for the quick route, has Kana. The senior on his feet, trying to drag defenders out of bounds. And does. 1:22 left. Well, this Tiger team is certainly better than the team we saw 2 years ago here in Pueblo Luis. The score will not indicate it. This game, as I said, it's just weird. It was a weird game from the get-go. A turnover on the first drive, and then another pick by Josh Bradford for the second week in a row. A quarterback just threw it right to him. And I'm not sure he'll have 2 easier interceptions in his life in the last 2 weeks.
Maybe not. Maybe next year he'll have an interception that's even easier.
Or beg your pardon, I believe that was maybe 2 weeks ago where Josh had that interception against Durango.
It was against Durango.
So 2 of the last 3 weeks against 2 very good quarterbacks.
The defensive line did have an interception last week, though.
Handoff, right side, Gardner still on his feet, and he will finally get swung out of bounds. And that'll bring up 4th down here for the Tigers. Are not willing to just lie down. By the way, a ton of new subscribers here on our YouTube channel today. A couple new Patreon members. We thank you so much. If you head to patreon.com/Erie Tiger Network, you could help support the Erie Tiger Network for as little as even $1 a month. And we are close to getting monetized, so every subscription counts. So thank you to the people that subscribe today. We're going to be about 20 or so people from being monetized.
Gavin Mendoza looking a little bit like John Elway with a helicopter flip. Gets Erie a 1st down, trying to put the ball in the end zone again.
Similar spot of the field, just a little bit different circumstance. Out route at the feet of Nelms. And that was probably a good throw down away from the defender. That might have been picked off. 42 seconds left on a nice but breezy day here in Pueblo. The state championship will be held in Pueblo, and that might be a factor, as that was predetermined about midway through the season as they worked out a deal de chaso with CSU Pueblo to put this game in the Thunder Bowl. As they tried to hit a slant there, and the linebacker came over and tipped it.
And if CSU Pueblo, I believe they had a playoff game today or yesterday. Not sure of the score, but if they won, I think, if my memory serves, they would host, which means the game would be played at Pueblo West High School. So
now Mendoza, flush, looking, fires, end zone, touchdown. Caleb Furman, the senior, will end this season with a touchdown and some hugs from some fellow seniors. And Hackney, Aiden Meeks, Spencer Brooks, all giving him hugs. And Deion Lucero patting the helmet of Caleb Furman, who I think it's a combination right now. You see him, looks like he's having a hard time down there. I think a combination of being tired as he has left it all on this field and realizing that that's probably going to be the last time he will have a chance to run a route for this Tiger offense. As that kick is up and good by the senior Julian. And it's now 35-17.
even with 30 seconds left, probably an onside kick coming from Erie.
A big hug out there to Caleb Furman. Nate Hackney. And I know we don't have communication with our cameraman. He's looking down at the special teams, but Coach Cooper went over and gave a big hug to Nate Hackney. And, man, talk about playing your guts out. At one point I saw Nate try and dive for a tackle when he was about 5 yards behind the ball carrier, and he got some pretty good amplitude. And he is over there getting consoled from some friends. I don't know if we mentioned this or not. Well, what year is Ian McDonald? He actually didn't have a year listed. I think he is a senior, and we forgot to mention Ian. Ian, of course, a student at Peak to Peak. He's the only one on our roster that doesn't have a year listed, so I skipped right over him on accident. But I saw him down there giving hugs out, and I was like, I think Ian is a senior here, and so another warrior for the Tigers, and he's been a huge piece of this Tiger program resurgence. As here's the onside kick. Pretty decent. Tigers just couldn't quite get on the end of it.
And McDonald, one of those players that has been a rocket middle linebacker. Always the cool head. Never see penalties called on him.
28 seconds left. Pueblo East will kneel this one out. Tigers managed to score 2 touchdowns in the half, but a little bit too little too late. You saw the big touchdown by Nelms that felt like maybe Erie could get back in, and then it was just 4th and 3rd down conversions, and then the Pueblo East would score, and then they got a fluke little kick recovery, and unfortunately it was not meant to be on this day for Erie. That is going to do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us all year long for football coverage on the Erie Tiger Network. You can find our broadcast schedule for at least the last little bit of this first semester on the Erie Tiger Network. Our next broadcast will be girls basketball, and that's coming up quickly. Wednesday, we'll have girls and boys basketball away at Longmont, so not much of a break for us here as we jump right back into the fray. We'll have band concert, more basketball, and we'll finish up the semester, I know, with wrestling against Westminster on the 20th. Thank you so much for joining us. For Joe, Grayson, and Grayson, I'm Brandon. Hope you enjoyed today's broadcast, and until next time, I'll chirp at you later.